Game 6, 2011 World Series, and it could be the last game of this 2011 season if the Texas Rangers can win it. If the Cardinals can do it, then we will have one of those rare Game 7s. That's what's at stake here in this ball game in St. Louis tonight after the rainout last night. We have a very nice night for baseball, albeit on the fall side of things. 53 degrees at game time, 12 Celsius. The winds are really pretty calm at about 9 miles an hour, and the expected low is what's of the concern. Could be down to as low as 38.3 Celsius, but that may not come till early in the morning.
Well, and you know, Gary, I applaud Major League Baseball for the decision they made yesterday. You would hate to have the weather dictate whether one team won a ball game or not. Plus, these fans, they deserve the opportunity to enjoy watching a World Series game. They will tonight.
They will tonight, and they will be vocal in the sea of red here in Cardinal land. There's a good contingent on hand from Texas. They will largely be behind the Texas dugout. They are family members of the organization, and some fans who just were able to make it here. Those tickets are generally lumped together to keep the fans, who are the visiting fans in this case, together. But for Nolan Ryan, it'll be another long night. He watches every game from down in the seats, never sits up in the box, and rarely ever leaves the ball game while it's underway. He will be in his seat, standing, sitting, standing, sitting.
And what was his prediction when this series began?
6 for the Rangers. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineup tonight for the visiting Texas Rangers. Brought to you by New Era, the official on-field cap of Major League Baseball. Fly your own flag. Kinsler, Anderson, Hamilton, Young, Beltran, Cruz, Napoli. Gentry gets the start in center. Kobe Lewis will make the start. Washington holding true. That's what brought me here. That's the way it stays.
Well, even though he was 0 for 2 against Jaime Garcia in Game 2, you cannot look at a lineup and not highlight Mike Napoli. Look at that. Only 19 runs in this series. He has 9 of the RBIs.
There is no DH involved in this game. We are in the National League Park, so the pitchers will hit. Usually, obviously, a fairly disadvantageous situation for the American League team as it takes one of their big batters out of the lineup. Umpires are out at home plate. This is a game, a series in which, while there has been one major incident regarding a call, the umpires for the most part have been able to do what they pray happens, and that's mostly stay out of the picture. They've been consistent behind the plate. The calls have been, 99% right, and they have not been the story, and that's the dream of every umpire.
I totally agree with you, Gary. I think they have been tremendous behind home plate. You have seen very few hitters argue any of the called strikes.
Yep, and there's Texas as they get ready to come to the plate as we await the Cardinals to take the field here. They will be led out by their starter, Jaime Garcia. It was kind of funny, on the day off when people were around the ballpark setting the stage for this game, you heard these enormous rings going on. It was the bullpen telephone. They were testing them to make sure they worked, and they sounded like fire alarms. And maybe sirens will go off tonight. Here come the Cardinals. Garcia, the left-hander, will make the start. Here's the defense behind him for the Cardinals, brought to you by Majestic Athletic. If it happens in baseball, it happens in Majestic.
Yadier Molina, Puerto Rico.
Albert Pujol, Santo Domingo, República Dominicana.
Nick Punto, USA.
David Freeze, USA.
Rafael Furcal, Loma de Cabrera, República Dominicana.
Matt Holliday, USA.
Skip Schumacher, USA.
Lance Berkman, USA.
There is the D for the Cardinals. That has held up well. They've not given up an unearned run, and they are hoping for a start like the last one from their left-hander.
Yeah, talking with Jaime Garcia when we were back in Texas before Game 5, he said, really, there's not going to be any more pressure tonight than there has been on me in the last 8 starts. It's basically been, we have to win or we're going home. Well, it is reality tonight. That is absolutely the case for him and his team.
And Garcia will be facing a lineup predominantly right-handed, which is a bit ironic in that The trouble he had during the regular season was against the left-handers. They hit 308 off him. Right-handers hit 264. But Ron Washington, as he has said daily, numerous times, I'm not going to change what got me here. The lineup I've used against left-handers since Gentry arrived has Gentry in it. He's going to be in it tonight.
Well, and the one thing that's going to change is going to be their aggressiveness. They are going to be swinging the bats. The last time out against Garcia, they took a lot of pitches. They got behind in the count. He put them away. What they're going to do tonight to a man, they're going to use their legs. They know they can't run on Molina behind home plate, but when they hit a single, they're going to try to stretch it into a double. They are going to take advantage of their athleticism against the outfield arms of the Cardinals.
And we are ready to go, to the delight of the fans, most of whom had their tickets for last night and had to wait through the day yesterday, the night last night, and through this day before they finally got an opportunity to see the game that they have been waiting for. Kinsler has had an outstanding World Series. He has picked up 5 hits, 17 at-bats, and has done overall a really great job at second base for this team. Garcia, the left-hander, he is 1 for 2 against him. Most of these hitters face Garcia for the first time in game 2. And the pitch is in there for a strike, and we are underway. Don't think there's any question in a game like this, the team that gets on top, scoring first, able to get on the board, really puts the heat on. Whichever team it is, it makes a difference in this kind of a ball game. Garcia will miss up high with that. Garcia threw an incredible number of off-speed pitches in that game, too. He went with change-ups, off-speed breaking balls. 50 of the 87 pitches he threw in that game were off-speed, something other than a fastball. We'll see if he continues that in this one. The delivery, and that's going to miss down low, and he falls behind on the leadoff batter. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Really, the only thing missing for Kinsler in this series has been his power.
And walks the leadoff batter.
Tony La Russa said that the toughest starting pitcher he has to deal with is Jaime Garcia. He said it can happen so quick, as it did in the League Championship Series. Tony described it as bam, bam, bam. The next thing you know, we were behind.
He cannot obviously let that happen in this game. They've got to, for the Cardinals, they've always got to keep this game under control, since it is a must-win game, and give themselves a chance in it. That is Garcia's first walk here, 1 walk in his other start, and he's walked the leadoff batter in this game. He's got to find the strike zone. Here's Elvis Andrus. Andrus has had a 6 for 21, no home runs and no RBIs. He has set the table a bit, scored 3 times in this World Series. Only Beltre has scored more for Texas in these games. He shows bunt and will take it for a strike. He did draw Freeze charging in from third base.
Tony telling us before the ball game that everyone is available in that bullpen with the exception of Chris Carpenter.
And there will be very short leashes on anybody that does go to the mound tonight for both of these teams. Andrus had an 0 for 3 against Garcia in game 2, and he will take that one, and it's away. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Texas has the great record at home during the year, 44 and 37 on the road, but during this playoff season, the numbers not quite that good on the road. They have won 4 and lost 3 in the postseason. All they need is 1 more on the road, though, and it's all over. That ball's going to be in the gap in left center field. Big jump by Kinsler. He's on his way to third. First and third are covered with nobody out in the first inning.
I think the strike zone of home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom is bothering Jaime Garcia a little bit. Couple of pitches that were down were not called strikes, getting him to fall behind in the count. Now all of a sudden he's got to elevate that pitch, and the approach by the Texas Rangers is to make him get the ball up, and when he does, let it fly.
What a big chance for Texas. No question about that being in the gap, and Kinsler read it and took off. The infield stays back here, hoping for a double play against Josh Hamilton, and he's going to get a base hit. Kinsler's going to score. Over to third goes Andrus, and the Rangers are running. And that speed and the legs of this team you talked about coming to the fore with the first three hitters.
Gary, I don't know what it is, but it has always been that first run seems to be bigger than any of the other ones. You've got to get on the board first, and Josh Hamilton gives him the opportunity to do that. This was a bullet. Absolutely nothing that Nick Punto could do. And you knew, Ron Washington told his team, if you make a mistake, err on the side of being aggressive. You knew Andrus was going first to third.
That is the third RBI of the World Series for Hamilton, and here's Michael Young. There's still nobody out. Young standing in with a 4 for 19 in the World Series. He has had a homer and 3 RBIs. And the Rangers really off to a big start that has already settled this crowd down. Texas came in doing far better with runners in scoring position in the World Series, hitting .241 compared to the Cardinals hitting .195. And they have started out here by doing exactly what Ranger baseball is all about. Get on, go from first to third. Get a hit, go from first to third. Young with the RBI chance, and he'll go after one that's up high.
What a huge out that is for the St. Louis Cardinals. Forget about the young Jaime Garcia. Him able to settle down a little bit right now with the strikeout there, not driving in the run from third with nobody out. Now Garcia's in a spot where he can lower his zone, think about that changeup, get a ground ball, get the double play turn, and only be down by 1.
Beltre has been one of their most consistent hitters throughout this playoff season. Throw over to get Hamilton back. With his bad groin, you certainly don't expect he's going to be doing a whole lot of running, but they do want to keep that double play in effect here. Here in the World Series, Beltre hitting .381. Pitches up high to him. He's gone 8 for 21 with a homer and 2 RBIs. Actually, he's had a season that if it were not for what Napoli's been doing, he's the one that we'd be talking about offensively. He's been outstanding.
Boy, his glove has just been flawless down there at third.
Beltre again going one upstairs, and will foul it back into the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Here in the World Series, Beltre has a 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. And boy, to add anything to the one they've already got up here in this first inning is big. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery to him, and that will be fouled off. Oh, Garcia gets it to 1-2.
He has made a really nice adjustment here. He's figured out the fact that Texas is going to be more aggressive than they were the first time around. He got Michael Young to chase a couple of pitches out of the zone. He may be able to do that again right here with Adrian Beltre.
And the 1-2 look over to first base. That'll get Hamilton back to the bag. A walk to Kinsler. That's what started it. He has scored. Andrus a single. Hamilton an RBI single.
They tried to go up the ladder for that third strike a lot of times with Beltre in this series, Gary.
See if he does it here. And he'll take a close pitch. Garcia does not get the call on, and it'll go to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was actually the same pitch that he got him to chase on the previous one. Nice discipline there on the part of Adrian Beltre.
He's not drawn a walk in this World Series. He has struck out 5 times. He's been up there to hit the ball, and he just gets a hold of the off-speed delivery out in front of it on the swing and pulls it over by the dugout.
That's so frustrating for a pitcher when you make a great pitch, as he did there with that nasty curveball. Look at how far this thing breaks. Starts at the top of the zone, goes all the way down to where it would have bounced had it gotten to Molina. Beltre battling tough.
2-2, runners off first and third, and that's going to be outside. Not often we say this in a ball game of any kind, but Garcia's already got the pitch count flying. He's thrown 19. in the first inning, and he's only retired one man. He really needs to get that ground ball double play right here. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Hamilton not running and fouled off, and that caught a piece of Molina.
That seems to happen every night, doesn't it? The Cardinal catcher just really taking a beating back there. That ball looked like it hit him right off the inside of his right ankle.
So flush it didn't even ricochet away. Stayed right there. So again, it'll be 3-2. Runner first not going, and he got him. Another changeup.
Really, the only thing Adrian Beltre could have done in that at bat was walk, but he has refused to do that throughout this series. That is a tremendous changeup down and away on the outside corner to pick up another strikeout. Michael Young and Adrian Beltre, two of the offensive forces all year long for Texas, not able to come through.
So now with 2 down, here is Cruz. Nelson Cruz continues his strong postseason, 4 for 15, a homer and 2 RBIs in the World Series. And when that's why he is so effective against the right-handers. That changeup he's got goes away, huh, Rick?
Absolutely, and it's the lack of velocity that makes it also so impressive. 79 to 81 miles an hour.
Down to third base, chance to get out, Freeze to second, and he does. Well, sometimes, even though you don't get all you want, it ends up being a win. Will that be the case here? Texas leads at 1-0. Holiday gets moved down. Berkman gets moved up.
I just feel like for them to win, Skip Schumacher's got to have a big night offensively.
See the numbers that he's put up. He gets his chance in the starting lineup tonight. Hopefully for the defense, Colby Lewis behind him will work. Let's meet him. Brought to you by Majestic Athletic. If it happens in baseball, it happens in Majestic.
Mike Napoli, United States of America.
Michael Young, USA.
Ian Kinsler, USA.
Adrian Beltre, Santo Domingo, República Dominicana.
Elvis Andrew, Venezuela.
Josh Hamilton, USA.
Craig Gentry, USA.
Nelson Cruz, República Dominicana.
3 unearned runs have scored against that D in the World Series. And here's Rafael Furcal to lead it off for the Cardinals. Furcal, the switch hitter who has struggled trying to be a table setter. He's 3 for 20 in the World Series, 1 for 12 right-handed, 2 for 8 batting left-handed. And there was some discussion yesterday about whether or not Furcal might be moved out of that leadoff spot. There really isn't anybody else put there.
There's no better option.
He is it. And that pitch is going to be away. Colby Lewis on the mound. Lewis with his 14-10 regular season. That'll be popped up and will end up in the seats.
Colby Lewis with just another outstanding season. 14-10 on the year. You can see there this is his 4th postseason start, and all 4 of those, Gary, have been on the road, as it is again tonight.
And his numbers, as we showed you, almost ERA-wise, 2 runs better on the road than it is at home. 2-2 delivery for Kyle, lifts it in the air to center field. Gentry will back up on that, and he's got it. For Kyle retired, 1 away.
Let's take a look at the key for the St. Louis Cardinals tonight, and I really think anybody could have figured this out. The bats need to do more. They need to come alive. We've been told that once again they're going to eliminate the opportunities for Albert Pujols. Mark McGwire in that hitters only meeting before the game tonight, stressing to Berkman and Holiday, if we're going to win, it's going to be on your shoulders.
Number 2 hitter Schumacher will go after it and foul it back. Schumacher is playing in his 5th game. He's had only 4 at-bats in the World Series, going 1 for 4. The Cardinals as a team are hitting just .229 in the World Series compared to Texas at .248. Even though Cardinals have more runs, it's because of that 1-game explosion. Lewis's delivery, and that's going to be a base hit into right center field. Gentry coming over to get it. And Schumacher is on. Oh, the left-hander delivers with 1 out.
And he did exactly what they needed for Albert Pujols to get an opportunity to hit. If he'd hit a double or a triple, they would have put the Cardinal first baseman on base. That's what we were told before tonight. Now, Colby Lewis will challenge him.
Pujols has had rare opportunities getting to the plate in this World Series in any meaningful situation. He had his one great game, and that has been just about it. Except for game 3, 0 for 12. And a towering pop-up. Shallow right field. Cruz. He went after the first pitch, and Pujols is gone.
You know, and what he did, Gary, he tried to dictate the action. He had already made up his mind he was going to pull the baseball. This pitch is not in an area where he could have pulled it. Had he stayed back and let Colby Lewis dictate the action, let the ball get deeper to him, he could have hit the ball with authority to the opposite field. But look at how quick he flies open. He'd already made up his mind he was going to try to go deep.
A great player trying to do maybe a little too much, pressuring himself.
I'm surprised he didn't put the hit and run on there.
Here is Lance Berkman, runner at first, 2 down. And Berkman, first ball hitting. It is deep to center. Goodbye, home run. Berkman's got to rise to the occasion. He's already done it.
He didn't like that taste that he had in his mouth from game 5 when he went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, including 1 to end the ball game. You have to feel like Colby Lewis kind of took a deep breath of air after getting Pujols out. Berkman made him pay. Berkman right there jumping all over a mistake out over the heart of the plate. Take a look at it right there. Craig Gentry knew, even on a night when it's cold, the ball's not going to carry. That ball was just absolutely crushed. Boy, what a turn of events. First and third, nobody out. They were down 1-0. Things could not look more difficult for the Cardinals. But Garcia able to get out of that jam, and now he'll take the mound with the lead.
And Holiday will take the pitch down low for Berkman, his second postseason home run this year. The irony being he had faced Lewis more than anybody else in the Cardinal lineup and was 2 for 15 against him. Second, right button push. Tony La Russa made the decision to move Holiday out of the number 4 spot and put Berkman in it. Berkman's first at bat in that spot. He delivers a home run that gives the Cardinals the 2-1 lead. Holiday with a 3-ball, 2-strike delivery and walked him.
Colby Lewis laughing about that. I think what happened was Gary Cederstrom got blocked by the head of Mike Napoli. Had to look back across the plate, couldn't tell if that pitch was a strike or whether it was down, and gave the benefit of the doubt to Matt Holliday.
There's a break for the Cardinals. Mike Maddox, pitching coach, he rarely hollers out at the umpires. Ron Washington, if there's that to be done, will usually do it. Here's Freese. He will take the pitch for his strike. David Freese, 5 for 16, 2 RBIs in this World Series. Home runs have been a bugaboo for Colby Lewis on the season. If there's any problem he's had, that's it, giving up the homers, as he surrendered 21 on the year to lefties and 14 to right-handers. And he's given up 1 here in the first inning. Lewis led everyone in the American League in homers surrendered. He had 35. Burnett had 31.
You could see why those numbers at home were so inflated. An ERA in Arlington over 5.5. As you look at the home runs allowed on the road, under 3.5.
And he will come inside. So both of these starters having their problems getting out of the first inning. 19 pitches have now been thrown by Colby Lewis. And Freese has a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Very short lead at first. Freese chases and he is retired. Lewis gets the strikeout, but the Cardinals get the lead. As Lance Berkman, their veteran, nobody has played more in the postseason. He delivers the long ball, his first World Series home run, and this is 10th World Series game. And the Cardinals, in a must-win game, take the early lead. Well, couldn't have a much more interesting start than this. Both teams get on the board. Cardinals have a 2-1 lead going to the second. Our umpiring crew in this one, Gary Cederstrom, is going to have the plate tonight. Rick was talking about what happens there. Jerry Lane will be down at first base. Greg Gibson has got second. Alfonso Marquez at third. Down the right field line is Ted Barrett. And Ron Culpa will have the left field line. Jerry Lane, the crew chief. And the pitch is on the inside corner for a strike. Molina holding that one up and framing it for the umpire with Napoli at the plate. Writing a little postseason history. Napoli. And the pitch is inside. 1-1.
What a tremendous series we have had from these two catchers, Gary. Looking back in the history of the World Series, it's a little bit like Yogi Berra and Roy Campanella.
Down the line in right field. That's the short porch, but it's going to be a foul ball. Pretty good names.
I'm not talking about these two guys having the same kind of careers, but they have had the same kind of World Series that those two Hall of Famers once put up together.
Yep. As a catcher this year, he had his best offensive numbers. Hit .364 when he was catching, .265 at first, .263 as a DH. 1-2 delivery to him, and that one will be bounced way outside. You mentioned those big names. There are 7 catchers who in their first 6 seasons had at least 50 home runs and a home run rate of 5%. They are Mike Piazza, Roy Campanella, Johnny Bench, Mike Napoli, Chris Hoyles, Ed Bailey, and David Ross. A pretty select group of catchers in their first 6 years who had big home run ratios, and all of them also had big numbers across the board. They all had outstanding batting averages and big-time RBIs, and Napoli's in that group. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Garcia working carefully to him. And that is down low. And the second walk surrendered, and both have been lead-off walks.
I'll tell you the biggest difference in Mike Napoli, as you mentioned, the power has always been there, but the average. He hit .230 last year. He was a .250 career hitter. The big difference for him now is his confidence and ability with 2 strikes. Down in the count, 1 and 2 there. Look at the patience, laying off those curveballs, and then knowing that that changeup was ball 4. He hit .289 with 2 strikes during the regular season. The league average, 180.
So leadoff man is on again, and the pitch will be inside to Gentry. Craig Gentry getting the start against the left-hander in center field. That's the way Ron Washington has done it since Gentry was acquired by the Rangers. He plays against the lefties, and that being the case, he's in there again. He's 0 for 3 in the World Series, and he'll top that one foul.
You know, another thing that Ron Washington has told us is that he feels much more comfortable with Josh Hamilton in left field. It just seems like all of the times that he gets hurt, he gets injured, is when he's in center field. That's when he tends to run into the wall more often.
And Gentry can move out there in center. Runner at first base, short lead Napoli. Gentry with the pitcher waiting on deck will take the pitch down low, and Garcia nowhere near the ball strike ratio that he had in the second game of this World Series when he pitched, at least not so far tonight.
Well, and he, to me, right now is borderline fidgety. And that was the word that Tony La Russa used before Game 2, saying that's usually when I know I have to go get him.
And that's going to be a base hit into left field. He's getting behind these hitters, and these Texas hitters are getting some fat pitches. That one came in a 2-1 count, and the Rangers have 2 on and nobody out.
You make a great point there, Gary, because you don't expect the number 8 guy to hit the ball with authority. And that ball right there was scalded. Now, this is where Tony La Russa has got to manage. You have got the catcher running the bases at second base. You've got a pitcher who spent the season in the American League. He does not have the experience putting down the sacrifice bunt here that a National League guy would. So if you're Tony La Russa, you got to take it away from him. You have got to either put the wheel play on, or you've got to keep David Freese back there at third to try to get a force play.
Let's see what they do with it. He had 1 sack bunt. They are, I mean, charging in, and he tries to bunt it and fouls it off.
That's the wheel play. That is where you come at both of the corners, and Furcal's job is to beat the runner to the third base bag. You can see there's going to be nobody at second base. Puto's got to come over to get the throw at first base if there is no play at third. But to me, there is no place to bunt this ball. They have got to let Colby Lewis pull the bat back and try to slap it through the infield.
Right in the batter's box. They got to play at third base. Here's the throw. They got it. Got to play at first. Double play!
That is outstanding on the part of Tony La Russa. And I really don't understand why Ron Washington would not have the third base coach, Dave Anderson, come talk to his starting pitcher. That was the perfect play. There's absolutely no place that you can make that bunt. You know you've got a slow-running catcher. Even though Freese bobbled it a little bit, he made sure of one. And then the strong arm of Furcal was just enough to complete the double play.
A big defensive play. Here's Kinsler, drew a walk his first time up. Gentry ends up at second base. There are 2 down. And Kinsler will take it down low for a ball.
Gary, there are 5 bunt plays that a manager can go to. And Tony La Russa picked the perfect one to help Garcia get 2 of the 3 outs he needs here in this inning.
That's about as calm as a manager can be as on a play as important as that was. La Russa just kind of watched it and then turned away. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's up high. Garcia avoided a bullet in the first by getting the strikeouts of Young and Beltre. He's trying to avoid another one here in the second.
You know, I will never forget years ago, Derek Jeter talking about Joe Torre, and what made him a great manager was that he only managed when he had to. Tony had a situation there that he had to manage, and he did. There have been times, though, a lot of us feel like in this series where he may have managed more than he really needed to.
That one was on the money. A 2-ball, 1-strike count to Kinsler. First 2 on in the inning with a walk and a single. Now a runner at second, and there are 2 down. And Kinsler jammed a good pitch by Garcia and fights it off.
I'm kind of wondering why the Texas base runners at second aren't letting the hitters know when the changeup is coming. You can clearly see it in the grip from second base in the glove of Garcia. You see there, this is the changeup right here, all 3 fingers on it.
Foul ball.
If they were to have let him know that that was the changeup, as elevated as that was, look at that, there's the grip, there's the 3 fingers on top of it. If you let him know that changeup's coming in that location, you can see how clearly he was fooled. He was out in front of it so far. That ball could have been a 2-run homer.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Again, here's the delivery, and that will be outside. Floated it, and the count will go to 3-2. Gentry on at second base represents the potential tying run here in the second inning. With 2 down, Kinsler's only had a couple of chances with runners in scoring position here in the World Series and has gone 0 for 2. There's Gentry. Here's the 3-2 again. That ball is hit hard. That's going to be in the gap, and that's going to take a hop up and over. It's a ground rule double. It's a tie game. Gentry will score the RBI to Kinsler, and it is 2-2.
He is absolutely not fooling anybody. And when we asked Tony La Russa before the game who can go out there and fix Garcia when he gets fidgety, as you said, he said Dave Duncan's the best at it. Now, Duncan only go out once every inning, so Molina will go out from time to time. But he really, if he's ever been fixed, if anybody could ever tighten up the lug nuts on the wheels, this is where Dave Duncan has to get it done.
The RBI is the first of the World Series, picked up by Kinsler. And again, as happened in that first inning, the leadoff walk started it all. The walk didn't score here in this inning, but he certainly helped kick off the inning. There is Dave Duncan. And this game is tied at 2-2. We're only in the top of the second inning. That is the first hit with runners in scoring position and 2 out in this series for Texas. And now they got a chance at another one. Here's Andrus. He delivered a ringing base hit his first time up. He is now 1 for 4 off Garcia in this World Series. And the pitch will be taken for a strike.
Mitchell Boggs already up and throwing. And believe me, as a starting pitcher, you can hear it and you know it. And that is not a comforting feeling. Tony's making sure the right guy is up.
You think they'll repeat the names? That ball in the air to right, playing shallow. Berkman, he goes over into foul territory and does not have a play. Hits off the facade of the stands in that corner.
Kind of interesting when you think back, Gary, to game 2, the first meeting between these two starting pitchers. Nobody gave up a run. Now, Lewis left the runner on base in the 7th inning that eventually scored. He was charged with it. But already, every half inning has seen a run put up on the board.
Garcia trying to work his way out. 22nd pitch of the inning. 0-2, and he bounced it out in front of the plate. Good stop made. Molina able to hold the runner at second base.
That's when there's nerves involved. When you miss by that much, I mean, he just absolutely buried this about 2 feet in front of home plate.
He does not have it right now, and you can't wait around for him to get it in a must-win game. Here's the 1-2 delivery to Andrus, and that's going to be inside for a ball. It is one of the advantages for both of these teams. The rainout yesterday gave their bullpen a chance for the extra day off, and at this point, with all the games and all the innings pitched, that can't hurt either pen. It's not that anybody gets a particular advantage. It's just that both have a fresher pen to go with. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Runner off second base. Reached for it and fouled it off. Andrus going to the outside part of the plate on that one.
You've just seen the maturity in so many different ways for the young shortstop. Right there, turning around to the home plate umpire saying, would that have been strike 3? That's putting it all together. That's figuring out what that strike zone is.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch number 48. 48 in this game, and we have not finished the second inning.
Well, and Gary, it all starts with a leadoff walk. You know there's at least 4 pitches thrown in that at bat, and you've not recorded an out. He really has struggled this whole inning. He got really fortunate that Tony La Russa helped him get the first 2 outs. He needs to get one on his own.
In the air to right, Berkman perfectly positioned. He's got it. Almost ran himself out of position. Andrus is retired, but Texas gets the big double. It came from Kinsler, and they have tied this ball game up as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Both of the offenses starting out like a house of fire. 2-2 game.
At 200 innings during the regular season. This is his 5th postseason start, and you're talking about one of the best young left-handed starting pitchers in the game.
Let's take a look at this ballpark. A fair ballpark for pitcher and hitter, especially when it's cool.
And I think that's the perfect way to explain it. I love the fact that there's a little bit of foul territory to help pick up some outs there, but I don't know why. For some reason, this might be my favorite ballpark. It's so pretty.
It was 7th in the league in combined runs and 11th in combined home runs this past year. Ball will be fouled back for a strike as Yadier Molina does what he usually does, going after the first pitch. He is 5 for 17, 5 RBIs in the World Series, bottom third of the order. Punto and then Garcia. Duncan and Garcia had a conversation after that last inning. Looks like Garcia will stay in. Andrus up with it, and Molina's retired. One away.
I don't think that was a given fact until they saw what Molina and now Nick Punto would have done. I think if they both would have gotten on base, Tony La Russa would have gone to a pinch hitter and to his pen.
Let's see what he does here with Nick Punto coming up, batting in the 8th spot. Switch hitter. He has gone 3 for 11 here in the World Series. 1 for 5 right-handed, 2 for 6 batting left-handed, and he will take the strike. Must win for the Cardinals to force a Game 7 tomorrow. Otherwise, we will see the championship awarded to the Rangers. Bat goes flying off the front of the screen by the Cardinal dugout.
Nick Punto was probably the toughest out in Game 2 for Colby Lewis. That's a scary feeling. I had it happen a couple of times. You try to throw that top hand through. You know that you're a little bit late on the fastball. You try to speed it up, and the next thing you know, somehow it just comes out of your hand. It's scary.
Punto had a 2 for 4 off Lewis in the Game 2.
Second base hit that he got was the one that knocked Colby Lewis out of the game, bringing in Alexi Ogando to face Alan Craig.
Pitcher waiting on deck. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and he got him. So Lewis gets the strikeout, his second, 2 down. And that will bring up the pitcher Garcia. So Lewis trying to have a good quick inning after giving up the 2 runs on 2 hits in the first inning.
I talked to Jaime quite a bit during the regular season, and he, being born in Mexico, grew up idolizing Fernando Valenzuela and is off to a great start. Back-to-back seasons with 13 wins. Fernando won 13 games in his first year back in 1981. I told him, teasing that, the one big difference, though, I said, Fernando could hit. Fernando could really hit.
Not noted for his bat, Jaime Garcia. Here's the 1-1 delivery to him, and he swings through it. These are very important outs in games for pitchers when you got 2 down and the pitcher up. You do not want to turn this lineup over here.
Well, and you want to do it quick.
Yep.
Throw a good curveball here and go sit down.
Ground ball that will be cut off at third base. Beltre, he guns it over, and it is a 1-2-3 inning. And it took only 9 pitches, 8 of those strikes, to get through the bottom third of the order. We completed 2. Ball game tied 2 apiece. The Dominican Republic, there are 3 from Venezuela, the 2 from Mexico, 1 from Cuba, 1 from Puerto Rico, and 1 from West Germany. The second highest number of foreign-born players to appear in a particular World Series.
I remember back in 1981, not only winning the Rookie of the Year and Cy Young Award for Fernando Valenzuela, but he won Game 3 of that World Series against the New York Yankees, helping the Dodgers win the championship.
Third inning of a 2-2 ball game. Here's Josh Hamilton. Young and then Beltre are due up. He had a single and an RBI. This is for Hamilton, the 11th World Series game that he has played in, going back to last year. Came in with a 128 batting average in World Series games and 1 home run. That is playable. And, into the railing freeze as he did not get stopped before he tried to make that catch.
Boy, thank goodness for the extra padding on that ball. This ball should have been caught. You don't know if it's going to come back to hurt Garcia or not, but that is going to be painful. Look how hard he hits that railing, and without that padding there, that still should be an error.
Yeah, that's the ball needs to be put away, and it extends the bat of Hamilton, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
He saw it coming down. Look at that. Ooh.
And get a second life. There was no error charged, and Garcia picks up his teammate. So he gets the leadoff batter for the first time.
Well, and that's the first time that we've seen a hitter really throughout this series argue with a home plate umpire. And I don't blame Josh for arguing. Take a look at that pitch there. That ball is clearly outside, but it was called strike 2, which means that on the very next pitch in the same location, he's got to protect.
And couldn't. Here's Michael Young. Young up the middle. He's going to have a base hit. So Young has struck out his first time up, gets his 5th World Series hit in 21 at-bats. A 1-out single. And for Texas, that is their 5th hit already. They've already stranded 3, 2 in scoring position through the first 2 innings. Saving grace has been only 1 extra base hit among those 5, and that was the double and RBI by Kinsler. Now Beltre, he too a strikeout victim, his first time up, and will take the pitch down low for a ball.
Now's where the situation in the Cardinal bullpen starts to change, because you've gone through the pitcher spot, which means if you bring somebody in out of the bullpen, you'd like to bring somebody in that could pitch at least a couple of innings.
And the pitch is inside, and he falls behind 2-0. Jake Westbrook is in the bullpen. We saw him the other night get a tryout. He hasn't pitched a lot. And the question of whether or not would you dare to use him in this situation in a long position.
I like what I saw in that ball game.
And that is going to be on the inside corner. Beltre now 8 for 22. Couple of RBIs here in the World Series and a 2-1 count.
The only problem with Westbrook right now would be, being a starting pitcher all year long. How long would it take for him to get ready?
Here's the 2-1 delivery. And that's going to be way outside. In these situations, it is the 62nd time the World Series has stood at 3-2. Previous 61 times, the team with that 3-2 lead has won Game 6. 39%, not particularly high. Here's the 3-1 delivery. That should be 1, 2. Well, he gets the big ground ball. This is not going to be the first time we've had a pitcher for these teams live on the high wire without a net underneath. Right now, that's exactly what Jaime Garcia is doing. Game is still tied at 2. Now for Kyle, he flied out his first time up. Schumacher and then Pujols do up against Colby Lewis. Beltre in at third, and there's that Butcher Boy swing, trying to challenge Beltre just as he's challenging for Kyle.
Well, and that's exactly what Colby Lewis should have done when he was trying to bunt the runners over. Everybody on the infield was moving. He could have just slapped the ground ball through the hole.
And we'll hold up on that one. Here's a good reason for the rainout to be good news. We got an email from Italy, Joe Invarisi. He said, I was happy it was rained out. I finally got some sleep. Said, we're 6 hours ahead, 2 a.m. We haven't missed a game yet. So let's go. He says, now I'm well rested.
We can relate to that.
Yes. Here's the 2-1 delivery to Furcal. That ball's popped up. The last thing Furcal wants to do is put the ball in the air here, and that will be handled by Kinsler.
And I want to pass along some information to Charlotte. Remember the little 9-year-old
yes.
who's over in Africa with her parents? I personally handed her letter and picture to Albert Pujols, and he said that it meant the world to him, and he hopes to be a Cardinal next year too.
Charlotte in Africa sent us along a great email along with a wonderful picture. I have 7 siblings, lived here most of my life, as her family involved in missionary work over there, and they're just big Cardinal fans looking forward to Game 6. So Charlotte, Albert has your email and your picture.
I tell you what was interesting. I thought I was in trouble because I stuck my head into the hitters only meeting, and I guess it was right there in the middle of it. And Albert was there, and I said, I need you. And he came over. And when I handed it to him, he said, I knew it was important. And it sure enough was. He was thrilled to get it.
He loves kids. Schumacher with a 2-0 count. Drives it in the air to center field. Gentry going back and has room just shy of the warning track. And Schumacher singled and scored. His first time up is retired.
Well, that's just absolutely dumb hitting right there. Had he done that 3 days ago in Texas, that is a long gone home run. Let's go back and take a look at Albert's first at bat and what he did on the very first pitch. Look at the location here. You got to figure he's trying to go away, but Albert tried to hook that ball and hit it out. It did not happen. Look at him being patient right now. But the very next hitter, Lance Berkman, watch what Lance does. Lance has an idea. All right, I know where you're going to put the ball. I'll let you dictate where I hit it. I'm going to hit it hard.
Pujols will take the pitch inside. It goes 2-0. Flied out to right in that first at bat. He is now 1 for 5 off Colby Lewis. All 3 home runs coming in that 3-homer game. And a good pitch down and away from him. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
It might have looked like he was trying to control the action there, but that's that good hard slider that Colby Lewis has.
2-1 delivery, and he got that one in, fooled him with it.
Yep.
That was a good pitch to hit.
There's so much late tilt to that pitch. It's just hard to pick up that spin.
Pujols hits the slow roller off himself in the batter's box.
Gary, when you get a great hitter like Albert Pujols taking a swing like that, there's something special going on with the pitch. And what Colby Lewis does with that slider is that it looks like a fastball really until it's about 20 feet away from home plate, and then it just starts to dive on you.
Even up at 2-2 with 2 down, nobody on. Pujols drives it in the air to left field. Back near the wall. There's room, and in fact it rolls back in, and Hamilton puts it away. That's 7 in a row. Retired now by Colby Lewis. His second 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 3. The Cardinals must win to force a game 7, or Texas takes home a championship. Orlando Salas has come on to pitch.
And Gary, I think this is as much for the team as it is for Jaime Garcia. It's been a long year. The youngster's thrown a lot of pitches, and it was a struggle from the very beginning. Very fortunate to go through 3 innings, only allowing 2 runs for Texas. He had 7 base runners in those 3 frames.
So Salas will come on here in the World Series. This is going to be his 4th game. He's worked an inning and 2/3, given up 3 runs on 5 hits with a walk and a strikeout in World Series games. And that's going to be foul back as Cruz tried to jump on it. So Nelson Cruz into a fielder's choice his first time up. Overall this postseason for Salas, it's been better. This is his 11th game. 11 1/3 innings, ERA at 3.97. Fisted him, and it will be foul back over the screen. So here we go. Game 6, bullpen early. The pen for the Cardinals has won 5 and lost 2. They have an ERA of 3.16 this postseason. And everybody's available but one, Chris Carpenter. Here's the 0-2 delivery to Cruz. And we'll miss on it, a little bit low.
Yeah, we've got enough pitching to play 25 innings tonight if we need it.
Salas in his first postseason appearance this year. And will be up high with that. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Yeah, by design with that high fastball. Yadier Molina called for that. I would imagine setting up the great changeup. No, you're going to go with that fastball away. I was thinking changeup with Cruz being aggressive.
And he was, and he just missed. Cruz with a rip and fouled that one right straight back.
That previous swing tells you what the next pitch should be. He's right out there in front on that fastball. He's cheating on it to get to it. Let him go ahead and get himself. Boy, they're proud of that. Yeah. Yachty's proud of that fastball. I think he got away with a couple of them in this at bat. Go ahead and finish him with that changeup.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Cruz. Texas has scored when they've gotten the leadoff man on in both the first and second inning. Here's the 2-2 delivery. High in the air, but not deep. Holiday. Shortstop back. Holiday! And he dropped it. Oh, mercy. That is a 2-base error, and that error is Holiday's. He's got to call off for Kyle and make that catch.
He has to take charge in that situation. Yeah, Rafael Furcal could have made the play, but it's a much easier play for Matt Holliday. You don't holler take it. You don't holler a thing if you're coming in from the outfield. That is a cardinal rule right there. Everybody in baseball knows it's so loud in that outfield. If you say anything, you're saying, I got it. If you don't say anything, the shortstop knows to continue. What a tremendous mistake here in the 6th game of the World Series.
3rd error in the series committed by the Cardinals. I mean, that's just unbelievable that would happen in any game, but especially this one. And you could see it coming. 2
guys with almost 25 years experience playing the same positions they're playing right now.
And Napoli gets another chance. He reached on a walk his first time up. So a 2-base error puts a runner on at second, and again, in 3 out of the 4 innings, the leadoff batter has been on for Texas. Napoli with 9 RBIs put up here in the World Series, and the pitch will be taken down low. First base is open.
And I don't know why they're not putting him on right here.
Strike, I'm sorry, was called there on Napoli.
Well, Napoli was taken all the way as if to say, you know, what are you doing here? You want some of me? I'm ready.
And that's going to be down low, gets away. Molina finds it, and the runner Cruz does not go. And the count goes to a ball and a strike.
What a sloppy inning already here for the Cardinals. We've not seen anything get past Molina throughout this whole postseason.
Tied for second most in the National League. Amazing a team that has that number could make it all the way to the World Series. Because generally, if your defense lets you down like that, you're going to lose some ball games.
Well, and Jaime Garcia led the majors in unearned runs allowed this season.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Napoli, runner at second base, came in, and he's going to pay for it. That's going to bounce off the wall. Picked up by Berkman. Coming in to score is Cruz. Long single and an RBI, and Texas has a 3-2 lead.
I do not understand that. The Rangers have scored 19 runs total in the first 5 games. 9 of them were driven in by their catcher, and yet they give him an opportunity to do even more damage, and he says, I will gladly take advantage of that. You've got Gentry coming up. Gentry doesn't play every day because of his lack of offense. Gentry comes up, you get him out, you've got the pitcher spot after that. They're going to try to bunt again. Maybe you get a double play and get out of it, but worst case scenario, you face the 8 and 9 guys.
So Gentry up, and that will be outside for a ball. The error costly already as the run is scored. Gentry delivered a single and scored in the second inning. The RBIs, Hamilton's got an RBI single that came in the first. Kinsler an RBI double in the second, and now Napoli continues his onslaught here in the World Series. Fouled off. For Napoli, that is going to be his 10th run batted in. He has now tied Ted Kluszewski, who drove in 10 runs for the White Sox in the 1959 World Series. So he's at the top of the pile here in single World Series RBIs in a single year.
How about the unselfish at bat too? Him going to the opposite field, trying to advance the runner.
Gentry will take it, and it is a strike. Texas wins. You're looking at the MVP of this World Series, maybe unanimously. And there's nobody else really even close. That, however, remains to be seen. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery, and that's going to be swung on and missed.
Okay, now there's 1 out with men on first and second, and the pitcher's coming up. No, wait a minute. They pitched to Mike Napoli there.
Boy, this series, there are going to be books written on decisions made by managers.
Well, I don't really think they were that tough decisions. I mean, even if the Cardinals come back and win it, Napoli might be the MVP of this series.
Bunted to first. That is a foul ball. Home plate umpire's call, and that is what Gary Cederstrom did. He had his hands up before the throw was ever made.
Well, it's a great effort on the part of Albert Pujols, though. He knows what's going on. He knows the pitcher standing in front of him. Look at him charging right there. There it is. He comes up and grabs it as quick as he can. The ball's clearly foul. His foot comes down, but it's where the ball was touched, not where Albert Pujols' body was at.
Lewis hit into the 5-6-4 double play in the second inning that got the starter Jaime Garcia out of a problem. Trying to bunt again. That's a pretty good one. Going to go to second and going to throw it away into center field. But tripping on the bag, Napoli. Now, was there interference?
No, he's hurt. He hit the bag awkwardly, and his knee might have given out on him. Oh, my goodness. Another error here in the top of the 4th inning on the part of the Cardinals. Any time there is a question for a base runner, you're supposed to slide. Mike Napoli was not sure. I think out of his peripheral vision, he could see that the throw was off the mark, that it was high. He thought maybe if I stay up, I can continue to round the bag and get to third. But he has got to go down. Look at that right there. Watch when he hits the bag right here. I knew something bad. Oh my goodness. Geez. Can you say Ricky Weeks?
Look at that. Oh,
I can't look at it.
That is just crushed that foot into the bag. And he's trying to stay in the game.
No. How about the compliment Ron Washington gave him during our managers meeting when he called him a dirtbag?
Yeah.
And Ron was really upset that some people took that as criticism. He meant it as a compliment. This guy leaves everything he's got on the field every single day.
That's a high honor in baseball. It's the Dustin Pedroia, Napoli, the guys who play in the uniforms are dirty from the get-go. They're just involved in everything. That's what that means. And he is. He wants to stay in.
I don't think you can.
Going to have to be a decision here. He's trying to run on it. I'm amazed he can do that. Nolan Ryan, president of the Rangers, he knows. Napoli's been their hero, their star. They're going to leave him in.
Wow. How gutsy. I just give him the MVP right now. He has to be in a tremendous amount of pain.
Well, obviously they're going to keep an eye on him and see what he can do. 1, running, and 2, if he comes out to catch and tries to squat down on that knee ankle.
How's he going to be able to round the third base bag if he has to?
Very carefully. Second error has been charged on the Cardinals in this game. In this kind of a ball game, what we were talking about is you got to take every out you can get. Or if you reverse that, you can't give opponents an extra out in a must-win ball game, Game 6 of the World Series. And that's what was done there on that throw. You had to go to first base on that and make sure you got an out on it. And he didn't do it. And instead threw it away to center field. Runners at first and second base, and a strike on the inside corner. Ian Kinsler at the plate. He has scored on a walk in the first inning and doubled home a run in the second. As Kinsler gets on the RBI side of the board here in this World Series with the one he picked up in the second inning. And that's a strike. So Salas should be out of the inning.
Not a very good at bat there for the Texas Rangers second baseman. Took the fastball in the inner half of the plate, and this is just a hanging slider. He thought it might have been high, but that's a pitch right there that Ian Kinsler could have hit a long ways.
Now Elvis Andrus will stand in. He's had a single, and he has flied out to right field. Runners on at first and second base and 2 down. Texas has the 3-2 lead. They are already 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position for Texas. I mean, that's an extraordinarily high number for this early in the ball game. You get that many chances usually in the course of a whole game, not through the first 3 2/3 innings. Andrus delivers, and the pitch is way up high. Salas trying to get a little extra on that one, and a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Boy, how easy would it have been to have gotten out of this inning had Napoli been intentionally walked. Strikeout, a bunt from the pitcher, and then a called third strike.
Andrus 1 for 3 in the World Series with runners in scoring position, and he fouls that one back. The leadoff error charged to Hamilton, who dropped the ball that Cruz reached second on, has resulted in the run so far. An unearned run, as he never should have been on, by Holiday rather. And Holiday dropped it. That opened the inning up. Salas with a 1-2 delivery. Souvenir. Napoli's doing out there, every time the ball's fouled off, he's running a few extra steps, testing that knee ankle to see if he's all right. I can't believe he's doing that, as bad as that looked. Wow. Here's the 1-2 again. In the air, left field, hit it hard. Holiday turns around and gets it. It's an adventure in left field right now. A run in, it is not earned, an unearned run, as it scores on a single and 2 errors with 2 left on base, and Texas has a 3-2 lead.
Down below to him for him to get ready.
So Napoli will test it here in the warm-up pitches. A 3-2 lead on an unearned run surrendered by the Cardinals, the first they have given up in this World Series. And while we have a moment, old friend of yours from Kansas City wanted to say hi. Phil Young.
Oh yeah.
Who is now living in Killarney, Ireland.
I knew that he had left Kansas City, one of the great country music disc jockeys, Garrett.
And he's watching our broadcast of the World Series. Here's Lance Berkman. He delivered the big 2 RBI homer that came in the first inning after Schumacher had reached ahead of him. It came with 2 down off Colby Lewis. And Berkman will go after the first pitch. It's knocked down Young, and he got it there. No! Pulled Lewis off the bag. Argument.
Well, he must have come off the bag. I tell you what, Napoli, watch what Napoli does right here. He knows he's going to throw a changeup. He says, hey, you got to get over to first. You've got to cover the bag. Here comes the changeup. Ground ball to first. Get over there. That helps your pitcher remember. But when Michael Young had all of his problems with it, you can see right there that Jerry Lang ruled that Colby Lewis came off the first base bag. He was clearly in front of it. He even let you know as he kicked back trying to catch it.
He never found it, so it's going to be an error charged on Young.
It should be on Colby Lewis. It won't be, but it should be on Colby Lewis. What a great call on the part of Jerry Lang.
So it puts the leadoff man on for the Cardinals. Here's Holiday, and does he ever do? He's having an adventure out there in left field in this game, committing a very costly error. He's only had 3 hits and 18 at-bats in this World Series. Even though his postseason numbers are good, he's got to come to the fore here, I think, in Game 6 if the Cardinals are going to have a Game 7. Holiday has just not been able to get it going. Inside. He was 10 for 23 in the League Championship Series and is 3 for 18 in the World Series. Now, how much of that is because of that problem on the right hand where he's got at the base of his middle finger a problem, a hurt? We're not going to know that till this thing's over, and maybe even not then. He takes it. Second walk.
Gary, I think it has a lot to do with the pressure of Game 6 of the World Series. A routine fly ball to left. Holiday should have made the play. He didn't. Colby Lewis covering first base. I know that Michael Young had trouble with it, but he got the throw to you chest high in plenty of time, and Colby Lewis misses the bag. That's a great call. Jerry Lane watching him reach back for the bag. That was the only way that he knew that he didn't catch that corner. That's just terrific instincts on the part of an umpire.
So the Cardinals get another chance. Down by a run here in the 4th inning. David Freese, strikeout victim, his first time up against Colby Lewis. He has gone 1 for 4. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. Infield will play for 2. Freese will take it outside for a ball, and all of a sudden Lewis can't find the strike zone. He's had a big postseason. He's been an RBI producer, picking up a couple of those here in the World Series. Freese, runners in scoring position, has gone 1 for 5 in the series. That pitch is there for the high strike call, 1-1.
It was David Freese that picked up the base hit in the bottom of the 7th inning of Game 2, eventually scoring the only Cardinal run in that game against Colby Lewis.
David Freese on the postseason, good number. And a ground ball towards second base, just what they needed. Kinsler goes to Andrus, and they throw it away. It rebounds. Oh, what a break Texas just got. This game is tied if that ball doesn't hit the screen. Now the question is, where did it hit? And it came back to the first baseman, Young.
Matt Holliday has not hit anything hard throughout this World Series until now. And he absolutely wipes out Elvis Andrus. The ball took a little bit of time getting to Kinsler at second. That gave Holliday and his athleticism time to get to the shortstop, and he absolutely goes in head first. Look, I love how he put his arms up there. Remember Justin Morneau, how he got a knee to the head and it completely changed his career? Holliday going hard. Boy, you look for ways to contribute. He did right there in a big way, or that would have been an easy double play.
Now it's first and third and only 1 away. Fielder's choice, no error called, and Molina takes the pitch for a ball. This game would be tied if that ball had gone into the dugout or into the seats, as Berkman had to stay at third base when it ricocheted all the way back to Michael Young. Molina grounded out. Molina swings at a high one.
Kind of funny, Gary, how you design your dugouts to protect your players. It was the mesh that was put up down both lines to keep like line drives and balls from going into the dugout, which actually, as you said, kept the Cardinals in that situation from tying the game.
That's where it hit right there. Molina 1-1. Big at bat, fouls it back.
How about that? Tony La Russa himself putting on the hit and run, trying to stay out of that ground ball double play, which the Cardinals have done more than anybody else in baseball this year.
And Molina, because he is slow, is one of the leaders in that department. hitting into double plays. A 1-2 count.
Oh, this is such a tough spot for a hitter because you've got to back off on your aggressiveness with your swing because there's 2 strikes. You've got to try to put it in play to drive in that run. As a pitcher, you know that. And if you can make a quality pitch down in the zone, all he can do is hit it on the ground.
Kobe Lewis to the set. Look to third, no play at first base. Before we leave that play on the takeout slide, the other thing he did, Rick, that could have been very close to being an illegal slide and a takeout where you weren't trying to go to the bag. He reached with his arms because you've got to make an attempt to get to the bag.
You have to be able to touch the bag, yes.
And he did. Here's the 1-2, and that's inside. Little kitchen music right there for Molina. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
And you can see the Cardinal catcher dive into that outside corner so that he can cover the entire plate. I like that slider. I like that good breaking ball that fooled Albert Pujols towards the outer half of the plate. And, of course, it's got to be down.
Molina 2 for 6. Runners in scoring position in the World Series. Very short lead at first base. Freese not going anywhere. That is not a good number.
Yeah, but the last base hit by the Cardinals, the one you're looking at there, the one was by Yadier Molina.
Cardinals have had all kinds of trouble scoring runs, but for one game. Here's the 2-2. Molina takes it inside, and it's full. The Cardinals got 16 runs in Game 3. They have had 4 since. 6 combined runs in Game 1, 2, 4, and 5. And now they've so far put up 2 here in Game 6.
If Tony La Russa was going to hit and run earlier in the at-bat, he has got to put David Freese in motion here, trying to stay out of the double play.
Berkman at third base, Freese at first. 3-2. Again the look. And Jose Oquendo, right before that, had gone up to Berkman, telling him, beware, don't wander too far.
Well, and that pickoff play there, really, even when it doesn't work, it does, because it's going to keep Freese closer to first. It might even keep him there without running, leaving that double play in order.
3-2, got it in, down to third. Throw is made. They get the out, but the Cardinals get the run. And this game is tied at 3.
Another tremendous job of managing. If he strikes out and they throw him out at second, you're out of the inning. But Tony La Russa has been watching this all year long. Yadier Molina, with the proper pitch thrown, is going to hit into a double play. The mistake on the part of Colby Lewis was that he didn't make that pitch before the count was full.
So Molina gets his 6th RBI in the World Series. So each team has got an unearned run up on the board. And it's tied at 3. The error in this inning created by the great play on the takeout slide at second base by Holiday. And now a chance for a go-ahead RBI for Nick Punto with the potential go-ahead run at second and 2 down. Punto struck out his first time up. Freese trying to get a good lead off second. Nick Punto fouls it back. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Because of the generosity and the poor defense on the part of the Rangers, Cardinals tied this game up with that run without the benefit of a base hit.
An error, a walk, a fielder's choice, and a ground ball out. That's this inning. This game, I think at this point you sense the pressure has shown up on both sides. This is not a crisply well-played Game 6. This is a mistake-filled, pitcher-troubled first 4 innings. There is John Jay waiting on deck. He would be the pinch hitter for Salas, the pitcher. There are, however, 2 down. This has got a hang with them, baby, kind of feel.
I'm feeling the pressure up here.
For everybody. I mean, you're just waiting for the next mistake. Never mind the next hit, it's the next mistake.
Well, I was told earlier today that there's not one player for the Rangers that has a World Series ring. They're one game away from a 25-man roster, all getting one.
And they don't want to go to a Game 7 here in St. Louis. Nick Punto with a runner at second, 2-1 delivery, and that's there for a strike. And it will go to 2-2. We have had tension in this game right from the first inning. When combined, the team scored 3 runs in the first. Texas got the 1-0 lead. Cardinals went up 2-1. Texas tied it. Texas went ahead. Cardinals have tied it, and that just missed. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away.
You've got to challenge Nick Punto here. I know that John Jay has been struggling swinging the bat. He's in the on-deck circle, but you got to come after Punto here with a strike.
Should be the 62nd pitch of the game for Colby Lewis. 3-2 delivery. Nick Punto goes on the off-speed delivery. Lewis gets a big strikeout right there. Breaking ball got him. 1 run. It is unearned. There were no hits, 1 error, and a base runner left on. 4 complete. There's the play on the great slide by Holiday that allowed that unearned run to score.
The season starting back in early February for these teams going to spring training. Then the games, spring training games throughout the month of March, the 162 game schedule. We are down right now to 5 innings, possibly left in the season. Just 15 outs from what began a long, long time ago.
And have no idea
None.
what it's going to look like when it's recorded. Here's Josh Hamilton and a towering rainmaker to third base. Freeze in fair territory, dropped it. Oh, mercy.
I tell you what, I know it's a routine play and one that most of the time is caught in Little League, but I tell you who really gets caught right here is Josh Hamilton. There is no excuse for that. You don't even need to be doing that in spring training. If he's hustling from the very beginning, he's standing at second base right now.
This series is going to continue to throw up situations where you cannot believe what you're seeing.
Well, sometimes not seeing hustle,
that's unbelievable.
At any level makes me want to throw
This
up.
is a chance for a world championship, and you don't run it out?
It's 90 feet. You make a left turn, and you've got another 90 feet in front of you. No excuse for that.
Amazing. Here's Michael Young. The errors continue to pile up in this game. 3 of them now for the Cardinals. And here's another leadoff batter on. 4 out of the 5 innings. Texas has had the leadoff man on base in this game without a hit, a walk, an error, an error. That's how the leadoff men have gotten on. Here's the 0-1 delivery, and they're going to pay for it. That's going to go into the gap. Hamilton's running now. Picked up by Holiday. He'll get it into the cutoff man. No play. And it'll be a double and an RBI for Young. And Texas regains the lead, 4-3.
Michael Young says to his teammate Josh Hamilton, I'm going to give you one more opportunity to run. And he was not favoring anything. Growing sports hernia, whatever's bothering him. We'll find out when the season is over here. Michael Young fills the gap with an extra base hit. Josh Hamilton flying around the bases here. There was no question that he was going to score on that ball. And once again, the defense of the Cardinals lets him down.
Young delivers. He's on with nobody out at second base. His 4th RBI in the postseason. In this World Series, rather. And now Beltre a chance. He is struck out, hit into a double play. Texas 4 runs on 7 hits. That's another unearned run. The second surrendered by the Cardinals so far in the game. And Salas's pitch will miss inside. 1-1 to Beltre. Michael Young has really picked the pace up for this Texas team. first 7 games of the postseason, he hit 111 with no RBIs. Since then, in the last 9, he has picked up 11 runs batted in and is hitting almost 290.
Ron Washington telling us before the game, we've got to use our legs. We've got to run. And they have done that. On the base hit by Josh Hamilton, Elvis Andrus going from first to third. That situation there, Josh Hamilton scoring on a ball in the gap from first.
1-2 delivery. Salas will let it go anyway, even though the timeout had been called by Beltre at the plate.
Gary, that's really the only advantage that either team has in this series. They both can hit. They're great offenses. Their pitching is average. Their defense has been below average all year long.
Salas will miss with it.
But when you think about the athleticism, just watching them come out for game 1 for the introductions, you just saw more athletes in that Texas Ranger lineup.
The Cardinals are a station-to-station home run team.
Yep.
And Texas, while they certainly can hit the home runs, as Rick said, they can also pick up the extra bases on the first to third, a scoring even on an extra base hit from first. That has made them go. And a ground ball to third. Runner's going to stay. Freeze had it come up on him and will get the out. Beltre is retired. That's the first out of the inning. Well, if called for, the most exciting event in sports, a Game 7. If it happens, we'll have it for you tomorrow. Win this game, and that's not going to happen unless the Cardinals start playing some better baseball. They are down by 1. And the pitch by Salas will just miss. Cruz up.
You know, a little thing that may go unnoticed when the game's over with, but the lack of a productive out there on the part of Adrian Beltre. Struck out with runners at first and third, and 1 out in his first at bat, grounded into a double play, and now that ground ball.
And he has been one of the hot hitters on this Texas team. He's already in this game gone 0 for 3 and stranded 4 base runners.
They're so close.
Yeah.
They're so close to fulfilling a dream. I think they're playing like that.
Cruz on the big cut. He reached on an error in the 4th inning and scored. Has reached on a fielder's choice. Cruz with a 2-ball, 1-strike count and 1 away. 4 combined errors in the ball game. 3 of those going to the Cardinals. After that cut, teammates saying, "Settle it down." He didn't.
Sometimes you just can't slow the game down. And I think that was what Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan saw with Jaime Garcia. It wasn't going to get any better.
Fernando Salas, working in his 2nd inning, has been the victim of his defense. 2 unearned runs have scored against him so far. 1 out, runner at second base. Cruz in the air. Center field. Schumacher back. Runner tagging. He's got it. Young will go over to third base. And there are 2 down.
Got to be frustrating for Nelson Cruz there, knowing that if his teammate, Adrian Beltre, who hit before him, would have been able to move the runner up, that would be a sacrifice fly and another run on the board for Texas. But no production on the part of Adrian Beltre on that out.
Now Napoli getting the sort of respect we have seen for Pujols. They're not going to give him a chance here. Bad ankle, bad knee, or whatever. He stayed in the ball game, and he's going to get the intentional pass. So that will put runners at first and third with 2 down for Gentry, the number 8 hitter, coming to the plate.
I think Ron Washington has made up his mind. I don't think this is a decoy. David Murphy is going to hit now and replace Gentry in the outfield. Of course, Murphy always goes to left with Josh Hamilton moving over to center.
This is going to have been a series of the intentional pass. The Rangers have handed out 4, matching a World Series record. And there's another one. Albert Pujols intentionally walked 3 times. And now Napoli gets the free pass, and that will bring Duncan to the mound to talk with Salas with runners at first and third and 2 down. And why do you walk Napoli? Well, there's one good reason. Most RBIs by a catcher in the World Series: Sandy Alomar, Yogi Berra, and Napoli, with Carter and Gene Tennis. Tennis an MVP when he played for Oakland in '72 in the World Series.
The reason for Dave Duncan going out there to the mound is to let Salas know that the pitcher spot is due up next. And there is no way Ron Washington is going to his bullpen with Colby Lewis on the mound with the lead.
Would you pitch around Murphy?
Absolutely. And just to explain that a little bit further, you see Derek Holland up and throwing. I think that might just
Yeah, I agree.
Derek Holland would be my guy for Game 7. There is no question in my mind. With the rain out, him being on full rest, I'm surprised it's him that's up and throwing.
Is it a decoy?
It doesn't look like it. Not the way he's going about getting ready. I mean, he is rapid firing right now, trying to get himself close to where, if need be, if they decide to intentionally walk Murphy, it would be an option for Ron Washington.
And they've already put a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle. Torrealba, who was put on just for the purpose of coming into a situation like this, as David Murphy's getting nothing to swing at and isn't going to. That's going to miss outside. And a 3-ball, 1-strike count. And the wheels turning here in the 5th inning with Texas leading 4-3. Runners on at first and third. And with the long count, that gives Holland a chance to get ready in the pen. Setup was down low and he walked it. And really had no intention of doing much else unless Murphy was going to swing at non-strikes. Now we'll see whether he meant it. Torrealba's headed back now.
I didn't think there was any way that he was going to take Colby Lewis out of this ball game. I mean, that was a nice effort, but I don't think Tony La Russa or the Cardinals were going to be fooled by that. What I don't understand is why have Derek Holland start rapid firing. That could have been Mike Gonzalez down there. It could have been Darren Oliver. It didn't have to be what should be your Game 7 starter if needed.
Bases are loaded. Is that his side session that he's taking in the bullpen as a decoy?
I had a million side sessions. I don't ever remember one like that.
Well, maybe he was trying to play the part. Whatever. Lewis is hitting. He hit into a double play and he reached on an error.
He can swing it a little bit.
0-1 delivery to him and a Tapper foul. Texas, with 26 batters coming to the plate, have had 14 of them on. They've got the 4-3 lead. They have stranded 5 so far, and they've got them loaded here. Salas trying to get out of it right now. Lewis swings and misses, and the strategy works for the Cardinals. And Fernando Salas gets it done. Another run, another unearned run. Texas is already 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position. They've got the lead.
The 5th. Let's take a look at some of the lack of defense. David Freese not charged with an error there, but clearly a ball that he could have caught. Here's a pop-up. Take a look here. Matt Holliday wanting nothing to do with it. Rafael Furcal turned around. That was an error on Holliday in the top of the 4th, leading to an unearned run. Take a look at Michael Young there. Not able to come up with the handle. Then the bad throw. Here's David Freese on a pop-up by Josh Hamilton. Not able to clinch that one. That was the leadoff guy in the top of the 5th, as was Nelson Cruz in the 4th inning. Those are the 2 runs put on the board, giving Texas a 4-3 lead.
Colby Lewis with a couple of walks and 3 strikeouts. The home run offing Berkman picking it up in the 1st inning. David Murphy will now play in left field after pinch hitting. Hamilton, who had been in left, has moved to center. And Lewis will face John Jay, the pinch hitter. Salas out of there. He worked a couple innings, 2 unearned runs on 2 hits. He struck out 3, walked 2, 1 intentional. Jay, he takes it to second base. Kinsler on the big hop. And Jay continues his struggles here in the World Series. One away in the 5th inning.
Tell you what, though, that was a pretty good at bat. That ball was hit hard, just happened to be at somebody. Tony La Russa talking about John Jay, saying, hey, I just need to give him some time. Maybe that time off has gotten him back into the swing of things.
One away. 4-7-1 for Texas. 3-2-3 for the Cardinals. 8 left on by Texas, 2 by St. Louis, and a strike taken. Top of the order for Cal is 0 for 2.
I think this is probably the biggest disappointment for the Cardinals offensively for Cal.
Really needed him to be a table setter and be able to get on base somehow, but he's 3 for 22 now in the World Series.
He's always been a guy, Gary, that when he gets on base, he has that knack of touching home plate. He normally scores.
But if you don't get on, you can't do that, and he's not been able to get on. Beltre is still in at third base. 1-1 delivery to him, and Furcal will take it, and it misses. This so far is a what next game. There is no rhyme or reason to things that have gone on through the first 4.5 innings of this ball game. The delivery on the way, and Furcal takes it, and it's down low, and the count will go to 3-1.
He's got to continue to show that patience here. He has the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Look for one pitch and one pitch only.
And will take it, and it is in there for a strike.
That's the one you would look for, wouldn't it?
Yep. Furcal hit .231 during the season, but he did pick up some walks, 28 of them. And to second base again. Easy hop for Kinsler. And again, Furcal's retired. 2 ground balls to second here in the 5th inning.
I'm just seeing a lot of things that normally don't happen to these guys. Playing unlike they did to get here. Rafael Furcal in that 3-1 fastball could have tied the ball game. You know what you're going to get. It's got to be a fastball. He doesn't want to walk you, but he never even attempted to swing at that. And then it went right back to that tension-filled swing on the 3-2 pitch.
So here's Skip Schumacher. He lines it to short. It'll be handled by Andrus, and that's that. So another 1-2-3 inning, 3 out of the 5 innings. Kobe Lewis has retired the side in order, and again in that one it took only 9 pitches. Texas up. The Cardinals would consider this a fun house at the moment. 2 unearned runs have been surrendered and have cost them a lead. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. But a long way to go. 4-3, Texas trying to win their first World Series championship ever. Cardinals trying to force a Game 7 tomorrow night. Lynn has come on to do the pitching. Kinsler at the top of the order will lead it off. And it is in there for his strike. Walked and scored in the first, doubled in a run in the second, struck out in the 4th inning. 3rd pitcher used by the Cardinals in the game. And Lynn's delivery will miss down low, 1-1.
Lance Lynn was really the guy that came on for the Cardinals in Game 3 and kind of restored order.
Here's the 1-1 delivery to Kinsler, and that's in there for his strike. For Lynn, this is going to be the 4th game of the World Series. He's worked 3 innings, given up a run on 3 hits in the World Series. There are the postseason numbers.
Well, and we'll remember his last appearance when he came on just to intentionally walk Ian Kinsler.
Here's the 1-2 delivery, and Kinsler will take it up high. John Jay, who came on to pinch hit, stays in the game in center. Schumacher is out. Jay will bat 9th. The pitcher will hit in the number 2 hole. And that's going to be inside. So it goes 3-2. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Will the leadoff man get on again for Texas?
You just don't want to walk him.
Here's the 3-2. It'll be way foul.
That power and speed combination of Ian Kinsler, one of the many things offensively that separates the Texas Rangers. Andrus hitting behind him. Andrus, of course, was a leadoff hitter a year ago, but not near the power threat.
3-2 delivery, and he puts it out to left field. That will stay up. Holliday's got it, and Kinsler is retired. One away in the 6th inning. Bullpen has been called on throughout this postseason by the Cardinals to get the job done. They're being called on again in this must-win situation. Here's Elvis Andrus. He is single, 1 for 3, 7 hits, 24 at-bats in the World Series. Lynn gets it into him. That's going to be a tough play for Kyle. Oh!
What an arm.
Jerry Coleman would say, hang a star on that one.
I'd like to see what he could do on the mound. Look at that. Making a full circle after he gets to the ball, off balance, going all of his momentum going towards right field, and yet a bullet chest high to Albert Pujols.
Real good play to get the second out. Here is Hamilton. 2 down, nobody on. Hamilton has reached on an error in the 5th inning and scored, struck out in the 3rd, and picked up an RBI in the 1st inning when he got a single. The run that put Texas ahead briefly, 1-0. Fouls that one back. He's taking some pretty good cuts as this World Series has gone along. However much he may be hurting.
And he's swinging at everything.
47,325 on their feet. Hamilton a breaking ball that tied him up, but he missed. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. 2 runs charged to Garcia, the starter. 2 unearned runs charged to Salas. No home runs in his last 80. And a ground ball to first, and that's going to be a base hit. Pujols diving, but could not stop it. Berkman up with it. And the second hit of the ball game for Hamilton will keep the inning alive for Texas.
Curveball out over the plate. Albert Pujols fully extended there, just not able to get the glove down quick enough. This ball actually goes underneath his glove, a play that Albert would tell you that he could have made, he should have made.
Usually at least that would have hit the body and it would have stopped it from going into the outfield, maybe had a play on it. 2 down. Here's Michael Young. And the breaking ball will miss. Young with a big RBI double in the 5th inning. 2 for 3. He is also singled, and he has struck out. Michael Young playing in his 11th World Series game. A .235 average in those games, right at Berkman. And he's got it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. A must-win game for the Cardinals. They trail going to the bottom of the 6th, 4-3.
6. You know, and I kind of look back to the last game played here when the St. Louis Cardinals lost 2-1. They had 10 base runners in the last 8 innings that didn't score. That came back to beat them. Granted, the bullpen gave up the lead in the 9th inning, but had they picked up some insurance, that might not have happened. The same thing could be going on tonight for Texas. In the first 6 innings tonight, they've had 11 base runners that did not score.
Well, this is the 3rd time through for the order of the Cardinals against Colby Lewis, and in this postseason, 3rd time through, opponents have hit .368 or better. Can the Cardinals do that? Pujols 0 for 2. 2 fly ball outs and a breaking ball in for a strike. So he is now 5 for 20. Everything coming in that one big game here in this World Series. And that's going to be fouled away. And now a 2-strike count as Colby Lewis gets ahead of him.
Albert thought he hit it out of the ballpark in his last at bat, only to be caught at the warning track by Josh Hamilton. Now 0 for 5 in the World Series against Colby Lewis.
Here's the 0-2 delivery to him, and at it. Ooh. Gary Cedarstrom shoulder quivered.
Yeah. It was strike 3. But I honestly think he looked down and saw who was hitting. He started to lean up. Look at it. Watch it right there. He starts to go. That's a strike. But wait a minute. We're in St. Louis, and it's Albert Pujols. That should not happen.
Kobe Lewis talking to himself, thought he had him. 1-2 delivery, and he got him that time. He got an extra chance. There's nothing for him to argue about there, boy. Ooh.
Kobe Lewis should be the one arguing because he had to throw strike 3 twice. Let's take a look at it here. He starts him out with a slider that he got him out with the last time up. Look it over, breaking ball. Okay, take a look at it. Now fastball away. His best pitch, Albert was late on it. Tried to lock him up on the inside corner. Didn't get the call. Came right back with the same pitch to get the leadoff man out.
The Cardinals have only 2 hits in this game, and they both came in the first inning. They haven't done anything since except for the help of Texas when they got the run in the 4th inning without getting a hit. On an error, a walk, a fielder's choice, a ground ball, and then a strikeout. 2 hits first inning. Schumacher single, he's out of the game, and Berkman with a 2 RBI homer. Nothing since, and we're in the 6th inning. Lance Berkman, here's the 0-1 delivery. Berkman will foul it back.
This is really the only mistake that Kobe Lewis has made tonight. I think he might have relaxed a little bit after getting Albert Pujols to pop up. On the very first pitch to Lance Berkman, he got ambushed, giving the Cardinals their only lead of the night.
Now he needs one to tie it up. 0-2 delivery. Breaking ball is going to be taken inside. Hard to believe the Cardinal bats, which were so good during the regular season, they and the Brewers were 1-2 in about every offensive category. After that big explosion in that one Game 3, they have been shut down by Texas pitching. Here's the 1-2 delivery to Berkman, and that's going to be inside. 2-2.
So close. 1 win away from being a World Series champion. And you start looking at the scoreboard, Nolan Ryan realizing just 11 outs away from getting that ring. Bringing home a World Series ring to the state of Texas, something that's never happened.
2-2 delivery and a slow roller. Berkman not very fast. Beltre is, but he's not going to get him. So there's the first hit since the first inning.
Well, and you start to wonder right now what's going through the mind of Ron Washington. He knows that his bullpen has been perfect during the postseason. They are a combined 6-0. They have been outstanding with the exception of Game 3 in this series. When does he make the decision to go down there?
80 pitches thrown. Lewis, after a rather rocky start in the first, has been very efficient since. Yondo in the bullpen. Here's the chance. Is this the moment for Matt Holliday?
Well, that was the pitch. But once again, as Tony La Russa told us before the game, he's right in between. He's out in front of anything off speed, and he's late on the fastball.
Berkman at first with 1 away. Holliday with the 2 walks, the only 2 that Lewis has issued. A throw over, and Berkman on his belly back in.
You know, for me, watching Lance struggle right now, to me, it's all about the stride. It just seems like that stride just continues to get longer and longer the more frustrated he gets.
0-1 count. Holliday will foul that one back as he got jammed. And again, he's behind on the count, 0-2. It takes a long walk off just to think about it.
I don't think there's any such thing, really. Manny Ramirez was the closest I ever saw to a good breaking ball hitter. But Matt Holliday is a really good, bad breaking ball hitter. And the Texas Rangers have figured that out. They do not want to throw him a breaking ball for a strike.
Again, Berkman back to the bag. Holliday had a great offensive year. 17th in the National League in average, 6th in on-base percentage, 13th in slugging, tied for 9th with 36 doubles.
He missed a lot of time with injuries.
Yep. And that one is going to be fouled away. He was joking a bit in the off day yesterday when about how everything has seemingly gone against him here in this postseason. He was out there when left field when someone threw a wiffle ball out. He said, I was surprised I didn't get hit in the head the way things have gone this year. And then he has a tough game here as he has made a big error that's cost a run. 0-2 delivery, and again it is going to be fouled away. He's hanging.
The season started out with him on the disabled list with that emergency appendectomy. Missed the first 7 games, was able to come back somehow. Then when the postseason began, he had that hand injury. They didn't know if he was going to be able to play at all. He couldn't play early in the division series, but has toughed it out up to this point. Always a threat.
And the pitch is outside. He's been involved in so many plays in this World Series. He had that safe call on the blown call at first base, and there should have been an out when he was tagged, and instead he got called safe. He threw Napoli out the next half inning of that ball game at the plate. Then he's had a couple of errors, and then he fouls another one off, and he's just trying to get that big hit. He had a left quad strain in June after that appendectomy had kept him out. A moth flew into his ear in August that caused a balance problem. You imagine that? And then he had that inflamed tendon in his right middle finger. So he's had one of those, and yet has put up big numbers on the regular season. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Pitch number 7 of the at bat. Holiday jammed again, fights it off.
Matt Holliday's got to be wondering how many times can he continue to make that perfect pitch with the fastball in. Holiday keeping this at bat going, looking for a mistake out over the plate where he has as much power as anybody in this game.
Berkman with the lead. 4 foul balls so far in the 1-2 count. 3 throwovers during this at bat. Getting Berkman back to the bag. 1 away, 1-2. The Cardinals down a run, trying to get it back here in the 6th inning. And a chopper down to first base. Young bobbles it, and everybody's safe. Oh, my. Just hang on. More to come, folks.
I would imagine both of these teams starting to think about putting some defensive people in there. If Mitch Moreland is playing first base right now, that is a double play that is turned and the inning is over with. The second consecutive soft hit ground ball that all of a sudden the Cardinals are able to put 2 men on base. Michael just working too quick right there. Going to be charged now with his 2nd error of the ball game and could possibly lead to the 2nd unearned run that he has given up.
This is really amazing.
Pressure. There is more pressure here than these guys.
Is exhausting for everybody involved.
Well, and now you're looking at the MVP of the National League Championship Series up here with a chance to give the Cardinals the lead.
Freeze down to third. That'll be a foul ball. He has struck out it into a fielder's choice. 5 for 18 in the World Series.
It's hard to tell, Gary, with the poor defense being played behind him, but with the exception of the mistake to Lance Berkman, that 2-run homer in the 1st inning, Colby Lewis is really making some great pitches.
Freeze, 1 strike delivery. The Cardinals tonight have gone 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. And since the Albert Pujols 3rd home run in Game 3, the Cardinals are now 1 for 22 with runners in scoring position. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Good eye. Freeze gets ahead on the count, 2-1.
Napoli not happy at all with that non-call. He thought that slider was strike 2. What a huge difference it makes in a 1-2 count as opposed to a 2-1 count.
Kind of backed up a little bit, huh?
That strike zone has been real inconsistent tonight.
2-1 delivery. Freeze will foul that one back. For the Cardinals to develop any momentum in this ball game, they've got to get a couple of hits with runners in scoring position just to know they can do it again. It's been so long and so hard for them that if you blow an opportunity like you have in this inning, that is a real negative. I mean, it's eating on your mind. You're beginning to wonder whether you'd never get a big hit and get an RBI.
Gary, we've seen it many times. It's contagious.
Yeah. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and that's going to be fouled off. Boy, Lewis is really having to work here in this 6th inning. Foul ball after foul ball. Coming after he's gotten ahead on the count.
Well, Gary, you mentioned it earlier. This Cardinal team offensively is built around the home run. That's what is missing right now.
22 pitches in the inning, 7 foul balls. Runners off first and second, 2-2 count to Freeze. Takes it. Held by Napoli for an extra look.
I agree that was a ball, but I thought the 1-1 pitch was a strike. A tough pitch to take. It looked like a strike for a long time. Now the count is full. I don't think there's any way Tony La Russa sends the runners here. So that ground ball double play could come back to hurt him again.
3-2 delivery, and he walked him. And the bases are loaded.
Now your back is against the wall. You left him in there to face Freeze. You've got to come get him now. But Colby Lewis gives
it go no matter what time of the day or night it may be where you are. This game's certainly providing it.
I know I'm on the edge of my seat right now, not having any idea what's going to happen in this at bat, other than the fact Yadier Molina loves that first pitch fastball.
There are the numbers for Colby Lewis, responsible for the base runners. 95 pitches thrown. Bases loaded, only one away. Molina with the Cardinals trailing by a run. First pitch is taken for a ball. Molina 2 for 10 with the bases loaded. A single and a bases loaded double. That's what he's had this year in these situations. A first pitch hitter who just took a first pitch.
Oh, that was a breaking ball. It wasn't a fastball.
Fastball is up high.
You've got a hitter's count. This is where you have an opportunity to be really selective if you're Yadier Molina. That strike zone right now is no bigger than a shoebox.
Ogando out of the pen, trying to protect the lead. Here's the 2-0. Inside, ball 3. No question that one missed.
See the numbers there? He's basically been an everyday player since the postseason began.
Ogando in this series, 12 base runners in 2 innings against him. No place to put him. 3-0. That's in there. Ogando comes back with a strike. Ogando has gone way over his innings pitched. We've talked about it. His high had been 50 innings in a season. Ogando's way up over the 130 mark now. Here's the 3-1, and he walked him. This game is tied.
What an offensive outburst by these Cardinals. An infield hit by Lance Berkman. A ground ball to Michael Young, booted at first base, and back-to-back walks. Not only ties the ball game up, but it gives him an opportunity to take another lead.
There is Nick Punto. Bases are loaded and a strike on the outside corner. He has struck out twice. Bases loaded, walk. It's a run. 2 RBIs in the game for Molina. 1 on a ground ball out, 1 on a walk. Holiday's at third, Freeze at second, Molina at first. Nick Punto at the plate. He'll take it, pickoff play, and got him! Oh, this is just not going to stop. That can't happen. Matt Holliday again. He gets picked off at third base by Napoli.
What more can Mike Napoli do to try to help these Texas Rangers win a World Series? He's thrown people out throughout this series at second base trying to steal. And now with the bases loaded, the tying run just scored on a walk.
He was in. He was safe.
Well, he got back in plenty of time, but did he get his hand to the bag, or did it hit off the foot of Adrian Beltre and skip away from the bag in the corner? He's back in plenty of time, but does his hand get to the bag? Hard to tell from that angle. Alfonso Marquez with the perfect look at the play there. I think his hand kicked off the foot of Beltre, who tried to block the bag with his foot, and by the time the tag was applied, he hadn't gotten back to the bag.
Maybe you're right on that one. Marquez was right there to see it. Now first and second and 2 down. I have never seen a game with as many mistakes physically and mental as this one is putting up.
You see his hand hit the toe of Adrian Beltre. It was placed there purposely on the part of Beltre. The pickup play was on. He and Napoli were in sync on that, and he knew that he had to try to block the play because Holliday was back in plenty of time. I don't think he ever got to the bag until after the tag.
This is just amazing. These teams have decided if there's a way they can hurt themselves in this ball game, they're going to do it. It's 4-4 somehow. 5 errors have been committed.
Oh, this is a great angle here, guys. Look how far he is in front of the bag. It hits off his hand. Now watch where his hand goes. His hand never gets to the bag. The tag is applied, and he has to come back in with the left hand. That wasn't the original hand he tried to get to the bag with.
However you cut it, it never should have been that close.
No, it shouldn't have. You're right.
Here's the 0-2 delivery. Nick Punto will take it up high. You got a pitcher on the mound, and Agondo comes out of the bullpen, walks with the bases loaded. The first batter he faces, and gets a recorded out from his catcher. And now a 1-ball 2-strike count on Nick Punto. I mean, really an amazing game 6. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and Nick Punto, that's going to get away. Runners are going to move up. Here we go again. Probably a wild pitch.
Some kind of record for giving away bases with what we've seen here. An almost completed first 6 innings of play. You know that Napoli's range is going to really be restricted because of that ankle.
Now a base hit can score a couple of runs after all this, but can the Cardinals do it? They haven't found that big hit yet since game 3. 2-2 delivery. Nick Punto takes it away. Agondo is all over the place. 3-2.
Derek Holland up and throwing again in the Rangers bullpen. I would imagine he would be called upon to face the left-handed hitting John Jay in the on-deck circle.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. And walked him. He's walked the 2 batters he's faced, yet has been able to record an out with his catcher. And the bases are loaded again.
Well, Tony La Russa with a chance-stick bullpen other than his adrenaline. This is a different situation than a starting pitcher has ever been put in. You get a little bit excited. You try to overthrow that fastball. If it gets away from you, it might find the body of John Jay and give the Cardinals the lead.
Derek Holland, game 4, got the win with a magnificent 2-hit outing. shutting out the Cardinals. Now he comes on with the bases loaded. There are 2 down, game tied, 1 run in here in the 6th. Jay will stay on to hit rather than going to the bench, and he'll foul that one off and check the bat to see if he splintered it. Now the option here would have been to go to Craig, I guess, as a right-hander.
You could have, but I thought the option for Ron Washington was to go to Darren Oliver. That's just overmatched right there. As I thought, that first fastball, supposed to be down and away, ended up actually up and in. Holland very fortunate there.
0-1 count. And a slow roller. Holland's got it. Comes on and he gets the out. And that will retire the side. So the Cardinals end up picking up a run in the inning to tie the ball game up. Again, they do it on just 1 hit, an error, and 3 walks in the inning. 4-4. In-game box score.
A lot of charity being given out here. Kinsler started the game off with a walk and a run scored. Gentry with a base hit, eventually scored in the 2nd, and then the unearned runs came. The error on Matt Holliday allowed Nelson Cruz to score. Josh scored on an error by David Freese. A couple of hits from Michael Young, and Josh there in the middle of the order, but it has been all about charity so far in Game 6.
And then how about this move? Craig did not pinch hit to go up against the left-hander, but he has come on to play left field. And they have pulled Holliday out of the game. Now, is he hurt? Is Tony upset about what he's done in this game? An error and getting picked off at third base? Don't know.
I'm guessing he got hurt diving back into the bag. It could have been that middle finger again that got jammed either on the foot of Beltre or the bag as he went to it.
We go to the 7th inning. Beltre leading it off. An 0 for 3 in the air to right center near the warning track and the wall, and goodbye home run. Beltre picks up the homer, his 2nd of the World Series. Redemption for what has been a bad night at the plate, and it is a 5-4 Texas lead.
It was his home run in Game 5 that tied the ball game up for the Rangers against Chris Carpenter. That was his only hit of that ball game. Right now it's his only hit of this ball game, but his timing could not be better.
That is home run number 5 in this postseason, with 2 of those coming in the World Series.
Look at that power to the opposite field. He knew he got every bit of it. He just didn't know if it was going to be enough in this big ballpark to get out.
Here's Nelson Cruz. The off-speed pitch is going to be fouled back. So Lynn surrenders the homer, and Beltre gets it. And Texas is back on top in the top of the 7th inning. The Rangers going after this championship certainly are getting opportunities. Breaking ball will miss. They've led it 1-0. They've led it 3-2. They've led it 4-3. And that celebration is about a 5-4 lead. 1-2 delivery to Cruz, and he yanks one. That is deep. Will it stay fair? Oh, goodbye, home run. Back-to-back homers. Nelson Cruz, his 2nd of the World Series. 6-4 Rangers.
Big Mac land. That's big man territory right there. Absolutely crushed. The MVP of the American League Championship Series, because of that power, puts it on display one more time.
Back-to-back homers. 6 runs on 10 hits for Texas.
That was a familiar sight in Arlington this summer. Beltre with 32 long balls, Cruz with 29.
5 pitches, 2 home runs off Lynn, who came on in the 6th inning. Gave up just a single. And the big bats of Texas booming here in the 7th as they are up 6-4. And now Napoli with a chance, and he was going for one and fouls it back.
Not a whole lot that Alan Craig could do as a defensive replacement in left field on that one.
Texas celebrating in the 7th, and why not? A little breathing room as they go up by 2. Most home runs single season, Bonds, Beltran, and now Cruz. 8 postseason home runs, and 2 of those have come here in the World Series. So he joins an elite group of long ball hitters, and the bullpen of the Cardinals has to get active again. 3-2 delivery and a strike call. Lynn gets the K.
Well, and so does the bullpen of the Texas Rangers get going, because the pitcher spot is due up after this at bat for David Murphy.
Left-hander Darren Oliver out there is ready to go. Lynn with one away here in the 7th inning. That'll bring up David Murphy. He drew a walk when he came on in the 5th inning as a pinch hitter. And Murphy will take the breaking ball, ball 1.
How about Derek Holland? Not only the winner of Game 4.
Coming up, he's the pitcher of record right now.
Oh, yeah.
For Texas, and a big out with the bases loaded. 2 down as he got Jay on the comebacker. 2-0 count on Murphy. Lance Lynn. Breaking ball, it's going to be in the dirt. Murphy, a couple of hits and 12 at bats in the World Series. Lynn having one of those quick innings against Texas as far as runs suddenly going up on the board. And a 3-0 count to Murphy. And got the fastball in for a strike. Cardinal fans obviously concerned as you're in the 7th here down by 2 and your ball club's not been able to get big hits. That one right up the middle. Murphy's on with a single with one away.
And now it makes it real easy for Ron Washington. You send Derek Holland up there and you ask him to get down that sacrifice bunt, get back in the dugout, and get ready to go out and pitch the bottom of the 7th inning.
Holland up, moving in Freeze at third base as they prepare for the bunt. One away, runner at first. Way in, David Freeze at third base, and a timeout is taken at the plate.
That's a play that Tony La Russa has used for a long time, where he just has his pitcher hold the ball, wanting to see if the hitter, this being the pitcher now, Derek Holland, takes the bat back and attempts like he's going to do the butcher boy. He stayed bunt all the way there.
Got a chance at second. Lynn guns it. Fell down as he did so, but they get the out. He spun around and slipped, and fortunately for him, he was still able to get the throw on the target.
Well, that's the second time that the pitcher for the Cardinals almost threw away a force play at second. You think back to when Salas threw the ball into center field. That's the play that actually hurt Mike Napoli. And now the trainer for the Cardinals will come out to check on the big right-hander to see if he's okay.
Kind of an awkward fall that he made as he was making that throw. It is good for the second out and puts a runner on at first base with 2 down. So Lynn's got a couple of outs after the back-to-back homers by Beltre and Cruz. And now Kinsler at the top of the order. Walk and a run scored, RBI double. He is 1 for 3 in the game. 10 RBIs overall in the postseason.
Something had to happen to Matt Holliday.
And Kinsler will have to wait. It was what we were talking about. They said they have already taken an X-ray. It was that finger injured as he tried to get back into the bag right there. That's why he had to come out of the game. Holliday out, Craig in. A lob toss over, and Holland back to the bag.
Tony La Russa must have found out awful late that Holliday was not going to be able to continue to play, because why would he not have pinch hit with Alan Craig in that spot for John Jay?
Yep. And it looks like he's going to make a double change here. They're going to go to the bullpen. So Lynn is going to come out of there. They've got the lead. Dotel will come out of the bullpen for the Cardinals.
Hard throwing right-hander. Boy, he was dominant in that league championship series, particularly facing what could be the MVP of the National League, Ryan Braun.
There's a runner at first base. The pitcher, Holland, and Kinsler at the plate, and an 0-1 count with 2 down.
I wouldn't be surprised if Yadier Molina doesn't try to pick Holland off over there.
Kinsler 0 for 7 lifetime off Dotel. Holland rarely gets a chance on the base pass.
Well, and I think that's what Gary Pettis told the young left-hander. Don't get too far off.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Dotel. It'll be a foul ball, and the count goes to 1-2. 6 different players have had RBIs tonight, accounting for the 6 runs. Kinsler has an RBI in the game. Hamilton picked up 1. Young's got 1. Beltre, Cruz, Napoli. 1-2 delivery, and that's going to go all the way to the backstop. That'll send Holland down to second base.
Well, that might be the first base that we've seen Yadier Molina give away. Not that tough of a play. He doesn't shift over as he normally does with a man on base to block that. Tried to glove it, and we'll see if that comes back to hurt him, because that puts a runner into scoring position again for Texas.
2-2. Kinsler. It will come back to hurt him. Base hit. Now you got the pitcher running. Up with it is Jay. He's going to throw through. It'll be cut off. Runner to second base. 7-4. 3 runs in as Kinsler gets the RBI single. He's got 2 runs batted in.
Derek Holland making a late charge at that MVP award. Not only in line to possibly pick up another win, scores an insurance run there, and boy, the home runs, I mean, they hurt. But this really takes the wind out of the sail of the St. Louis Cardinal fan.
A wild pitch moved the runner up on a ball that usually would be stopped.
Not that tough of a play, particularly when it's Yadier Molina.
7 runs on 12 hits for Texas. 4 runs on 3 hits for the Cardinals. And Texas with another chance. Down at second base, Kinsler. Andrus has singled 1 for 4 in the ball game. That run will be charged to Lynn. So he's charged for all 3 runs in this inning.
Boy, really the difference in this series, Gary, has been the bullpens.
Yep.
This could be the 3rd game in this series that the Cardinal bullpen was given the loss.
Elvis Andrus with 2 down. And the pitch is a strike called. A big 7th inning for Texas, and not done yet. Andrus 7 hits, 25 at bats in this World Series. Texas now has had 19 base runners in this game. And that will be in there for a strike.
We just had a shot of Feldman up and throwing in the Ranger bullpen. I got a feeling that he would have been brought in to face anybody that would have represented the tying run. But now that that third run has scored via the wild pitch, the pitcher coming around to touch home, that changes a lot of things for Texas.
0-2 delivery will miss outside. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Now for Texas, trying to keep the emotions under control. You got a 3-run lead in the 7th inning of a game that could be your first World Championship game. Beltre, the big home run to kick it off, and that will be foul.
How about the up and downs of the emotions on both sides tonight? After Yadier Molina received that walk and the tying run scored, I mean, there was so much excitement on the part of the Cardinals. All to be taken away with 2 big swings for Texas.
1-2 count. Dotel trying to finish off the inning. Runner off second, 2 down. Jammed him. He does. So Dotel comes on and gets the strikeout, but it's a big 3-run 7th inning, highlighted by the back-to-back homers by Beltre and Cruz. And it's 7th inning stretch time in a much quieted Busch Stadium, where the home Cardinals have now fallen behind by 3. And we will stay here in St. Louis for the performance of God Bless America during our, and a couple of unearned runs are up on the board. Moreland will play first base. In for Young. And the pitch is outside for a ball.
You know what? We had a great shot of Michael Young talking with Ronnie Washington. And I'll bet anything Michael Young was honest, saying, look, I've already made 2 errors tonight. Don't put me in a position where I might be a Bill Buckner. I'd love to be on the field if we win and if we're celebrating. But you know what? I can get to that mound just as quick from the dugout as I can first base.
And Furcal continues to have a problem at the plate. Just can't do anything right there, despite the fact his glove has been big. He's only had 3 hits and 23 at-bats in this World Series. And they desperately need him to get on here, and he tried to bunt and fouled it off. Left-hander with a 1-2 count. And that'll be underneath the back foot, and the count will go to 2-2 on Furcal.
Boy, struggling like he is, there's no way I would have moved my back foot on that.
Take it. Get on.
Anything, any way, shape, or form. They've been looking for you to provide a spark.
And a chopper. Eric Collins got time and gets it. So that first big out recorded in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ryan Terrio's going to get his first at bat. Let's take a look at the Cardinals in-game box.
Well, it's really been all about Lance Berkman. The struggles at the top of the order with Rafael Furcal. Berkman has scored 3 runs in his 3 at-bats tonight. The 2 RBIs coming with the first swing of the bat. That 2-run homer. Not much help anywhere else.
Ryan Theriot takes the strike. Holland has faced 2, and he's had comebackers on both of the batters he's faced. Theriot has had 1 hit in just 5 at-bats in this World Series. Theriot inside out on the pop-up. Second base, Kinsler. Do you feel the air coming out of the balloon?
Well, and what I feel right now is a lot of these Cardinal fans over the last 11 years have really enjoyed the performance of the man at home plate right now. And it has to be going through their mind again. This could be it.
Potential last at bat for Albert Pujols as a Cardinal. Tough situation, because if you're a Cardinal fan, you don't want to get up and say, all right, game's done, and applaud Albert as though it is done. But again, you don't want to let the opportunity to go by. Let Pujols hear you. He's had a tough World Series. Saying that after he had one of the greatest games in World Series history. 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight. And the continued struggles, 0 for 15 since that great game 3. Derek Holland, 2-0 pitch is in there first, strike 2-1. Pujols taking one there as they need some base runners. Berkman, this is the middle of the order. They may not get another shot at it, this middle of the order of the Cardinals. And a chopper that's going to go to short. Elvis Andrus is up with it, and they get the out. And Holland is dealing. 11 pitchers, retires the side in order. We've completed 7. Texas is that close to a world championship. Their first. They lead the Cardinals by a score of 7-4. Memories. 2004, the comebacker. Red Sox came away with a win. Cardinals in 06 picking up the World Series championship. Pujols and company on the field to celebrate that one. But this one right now belongs to Texas. As we go to the 8th inning, they lead it 7-4. And obviously for the Cardinal pitchers, they cannot give up anything else in this game. Zepchinski, the left-hander, will come on to do the pitching for the Cardinals. And Josh Hamilton will lead it off in the 8th inning. And will take it for a strike. He's had a 2-hit ball game. RBI, reached on an error and scored. Zepchinski with the 0-1. That's going to go to second. Terrio, 1 down.
Well, the Rangers have done such a good job tonight getting that leadoff man on base and then eventually getting him around to score. They've had 5 innings where the leadoff man has been on 4 times and touched home plate.
And they did it with walks, 2 walks, 2 errors, and a home run. Zepchinski now works to Moreland. This will be his first at bat as he came on as the defensive replacement at first base. Mitch Moreland with 1 down and nobody on, and will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. 1 hit, 8 at bats, a home run and an RBI for Moreland here in the World Series. And that's a chopper that's going to stay fair. Tough plays. Zepchinski. Whoa. How did they get that out? 1, he got the throw there, and 2, Albert Pujols got handcuffed and held onto it.
Boy, he about went down. His foot gave out right as it got to the chalk line. Look at him just falling down there, knowing that he's got to stay on the fair side of the bag. Albert Pujols with a great read here, because if the pitcher goes into foul territory, Albert's got to follow him. Albert's got to come all the way across the bag to be in line where the runner would not be in the way of the throw. That's a solid play all the way around there.
Couple of quick outs. Here's Adrian Beltre. Beltre kicking off that 7th inning with a home run. His only hit of the ball game, but what a big one. He's 1 for 4. Beltre with 2 down and nobody on, so he can swing hard again against the left-hander, and the strike's taken on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 home runs in the World Series, 5 in the postseason.
Things starting to fall into place here for Ron Washington. He talked about using Mike Adams as we look to the bullpen now in the 8th inning. Of course, Feliz in the 9th. And when we ask him about Derek Holland, what would be your use for him tonight if he indeed's not going to be the starter in Game 7? He called him a bridge.
Which is exactly what he's done. Here's Terrio, makes the play. So Zepchinski comes on, retires the side in order on 8 pitches. But it's about the Cardinal offense, or the lack thereof. Adams looks like he's ready to go. Bottom of the 8th inning coming. Texas leading it 7-4.
Just so many mistakes made, particularly by the Cardinals, that they could not overcome.
Couple of unearned runs up on each side of the board. Now Holland's going to stay on. He has worked an inning and a third so far. And that ball will be put in the air by Berkman to shallow right field. Cruz will come over, and he's got it. Berkman is retired on one pitch here in the 8th inning as the Cardinals are running out of at-bats.
Boy, it's hard to take him out right now, but I think that was the plan all along for Ron Washington, was just to keep Berkman on the right side of home plate, have Holland take care of him, and then with all of the right-handers coming up, that's the role of Michael Adams. But golly, Holland's probably throwing better right now than he did in Game 4.
Ron Washington still looking at the charts over there, so here's Craig. On goes Holland. Craig coming on to play for Holiday, who injured a finger again when he got picked off in the 6th inning at third base. And a towering fly ball to left field, way back, and goodbye. Home run. It's 7-5.
Can't help but think when Derek Holland came into the game, if Alan Craig would have come off the bench to bat with the bases loaded, would that have happened? But instead, Tony La Russa stuck with John Jay. He hit a weak ground ball back to the pitcher, and the inning was over.
Here's David Freese up high for a ball. Third home run of the postseason for Craig, 2 of them in the World Series.
I don't understand this on the part of Ron Washington.
Holland stays in, and the pitch is going to be inside 2-0.
We're not second guessing. We were first guessing to begin with that after he retired Berkman, now it's time for Mike Adams. That's his role.
2-0 delivery is swung on and missed by Freese. He's had an 0 for 2 and a walk. Craig drawing them within 2. The never-ending line of questions on decisions made in this World Series. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that'll be down the line. And foul.
Boy, that had home run distance.
Washington was literally leaning on the first step, talking with Jackie Moore as they looked at the book about pitcher-hitter, I'm sure, pitcher-hitter numbers. Left him in, and Craig hits the homer. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and Freese ground ball to short. Andrus slips and makes the play. 2 down.
I tell you what, the more I see Derek Holland, particularly this time of year, the more I'm reminded of Andy Pettitte. Just the composure that he has, a young Andy Pettitte. When he first got the New York Yankees going and all of the times they continue to go back to the World Series, Derek Holland might very well be that guy for these Rangers.
Only 25 years old and getting great postseason experience in his career early. Here's Yadier Molina. There are 2 down. The Cardinals need another base runner to get the potential tying run to the plate. They've had only 4 hits in this game. Berkman has had 2 of them, a homer and a single. Craig has picked up the home run, and Schumacher a single in the 1st inning, and there's the hit they needed. The potential tying run will come to the plate. Laird, the backup catcher, will be the pinch hitter for Dotel, for Zepchenski rather, who's in the number 8 spot.
Making sure that he's announced. Mike Maddox in the ear of Ron Washington. Once he is announced, once they look up, yeah, he has been announced. Now you come get him. And the option for Tony La Russa will be to go back to his bench one more time for his last option, which is Descalso.
So Well, the Cardinals making a run at it here in the 8th inning, getting the home run by Craig to fire him back up again. Laird has had only one postseason.
Well, if you look back at the World Series a year ago, it was this part of the game that got away from the Rangers. They had an opportunity to win a couple of close games against the Giants, but the depth in their bullpen just wasn't there. John Daniels, their general manager, as we look at him, he filled that hole. And when you think about you think about this ball game in this series, the mark that John Daniels has had on this is really remarkable. He traded for Josh. He decided not to trade Michael Young. He signed Beltre. He traded for Cruz. He traded for Napoli. And, of course, Michael Adams is one of the guys that he picked up right after the All-Star break.
Now, Daniel Descalso is the pinch hitter for Laird, who never got to the plate. Their premier pinch hitter during the year. Descalso towards short. Gobbled up. Play is going to be at first base. They don't get him. Andrus wanted to go to second, but Kinsler wasn't going to get there in time, and he couldn't get the out at first.
You're exactly right. He was going to make the short throw to second base, but Kinsler looked to be late. And then when he decided to go to first, he didn't put enough on it to get the hustling Descalso going down the line. The throw doesn't have a lot on it. It bounces, and right because of that, look at the effort there on the part of the Cardinal pinch hitter. Wow, what a mistake on the part of Elvis Andrus.
Charging. Descalso gets an infield hit. And this game just won't die. There are 2 down, runners at first and second in the 8th inning. A run in. The Cardinals still down by 2. And Jay is going to come to the plate, who does not have a base hit in the World Series.
But you know what? He's still got one more at bat.
He had 10 home runs during the regular season. Lost his starting job to Schumacher in this game because he was struggling. Then came in for Schumacher in a switch. 2 on, 2 down. Jay gets a base hit into right field. And they're going to hold everybody up. The bases are loaded.
I feel like Ron Washington is one batter late again. He had Darren Oliver, the left-handed reliever, up and ready to go in his bullpen. Adams is a right-handed hitting specialist. If he's going to struggle, it's against a left-handed hitter. The bench for Tony La Russa is gone. If he brings in his left-hander, he puts him in a spot that he's normally in. He did not do that.
Just trying to settle him down now. Maddox smiling through the tension.
Well, the first thing he said, you could read his lips there, you're doing a good job. You've got good stuff. Now, here's the way we want to go about getting Rafael Furcal out. Furcal has tried to be patient all night long, trying to get on base any way that he can. I don't look for him to be patient now. He knows with one swing of the bat, he can give the Cardinals the lead and possibly get them to a Game 7.
Jay did not have a hit until that single. Furcal has had only 3 hits in 24 at-bats in the World Series. 2 down. Adams delivers. And a chopper. Comebacker. And they get the out. Furcal is retired. And again, the Cardinals cannot find that big hit. They will end up with a run in on the Craig homer, but they will leave the bases loaded. A 7-5 game. Texas is 3 outs away from claiming their first World Series, being brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. By Majestic Athletic. If it happens in baseball, it happens in Majestic. By New Era, the official on-field cap of Major League Baseball. Fly your own flag. And by Panama Tourism. Panama, where the world meets. Gary Thorne, Rick Sutcliffe, Busch Stadium. St. Louis, the site. And right now, Texas leading at 7-5 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. 3 outs away, that team from a world championship. Mott comes on to do the pitching for the Cardinals. Nelson Cruz takes it for a strike.
You have got to put up a 0 here. And Tony La Russa going to his best. 9th inning specialist, as he calls him, Jason Mott.
Cruz, a broken back ground ball. Mott gobbles it up and gets the out. Cruz with a homer. One of those back-to-back in the 7th inning is retired. 1 down. That would be for Mike Napoli.
This is his last opportunity to break the record that he shares with Mickey Mantle. And he knew it. He needs 1 more RBI to have 5 World Series games in which he has driven in more than 1 run. Currently tied with Mickey Mantle and the record the Hall of Famer set back in 1960.
He's had an RBI and a base hit, an intentional walk, another walk, and a strikeout. Mott slipping, and that hurt him a little bit as he walks off the mound. You see the RBIs, World Series all time. Napoli with 10. Bobby Richardson, the great Yankee infielder, with 12. Then Mantle, Sandy Alomar, Yogi Berra, and Ted Kluszewski with 10.
Didn't really have much of a chance tonight. The only guy that had a chance to drive in, he did. Walked a couple of times. More impressive to me is what he's done behind the plate than what he's done beside it. They gave up 16 runs in that game 3. Don't forget, he didn't catch that game. In the 5 games he's been behind the plate, St. Louis has only scored 11 times. And of course, 5 of those games, 4 of them, could end up being Ranger victories.
Mike Scioscia commented on Napoli during the off day yesterday. Said, I think to say that we didn't value him with the Angels, or he wasn't a catcher that was going to fit our system, is just ludicrous, Scioscia said. Said he caught fine for us. He said the question is one of durability. And he said it's still a question. Mike's going to have to prove in his career that he can be durable. He said we did not butt heads, but I was tough on him. Napoli's response to that was, I always felt like I was looking over my shoulder with the Angels. I had bad hands. I was worried about my setup and mechanics all the time. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of what to do there, but playing there wasn't much fun. 3-2 is inside, and he's got another walk.
I thought it was real interesting that Ron Washington gave Mike Scioscia a lot of credit for the way that Mike Napoli performs. He said that any time you're around Mike Scioscia, you're going to improve, particularly as a catcher.
So he's on. That'll bring up David Murphy. Murphy had a single his last time up. 1 for 1 and a walk in the game. He came on, got his first at bat in the 5th inning, and will foul that one back off Mott. 7-12-2 for Texas, 5-7-3 for the Cardinals. Each team's given up 2 earned runs, which right now is the difference in the ball game. Holland could be the winning pitcher for Texas. Mott ready with the 0-1 delivery, and Murphy stays off it, and a ball and a strike.
Big inning here, Gary. If the Cardinals are going to have any chance to come back, Jason Mott has got to put up a 0 here in the top of the 9th. They've got to hope that Ryan Theriot can get on base, which would bring Albert Pujols up as the tie-in run.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Napoli at first base, short lead being held. 1-2 delivery. That's going to be tapped toward short. Tough play, bobbled to get 1, and that's all. Descalso came on to play at short for Kyle. Had trouble getting it out of the glove, but he gets 1.
Yeah, he did. possibility of turning to, even though Murphy runs pretty well down that first base line. But I love what Descalso did there. He didn't compound the problem by hurrying that throw. When he wasn't able to come up with it cleanly, you see him go get the ball. He's got outstanding range over there. Didn't get it cleanly. All of a sudden, all right, let me make a chest-high throw here. Terrio knowing there was no chance for the double play.
And Andy Chavez has been announced as the pinch hitter.
This is a great story right here, Gary. John Daniels was sharing with me earlier this year about Andy Chavez. He was hurt the last couple of years. They sent him down to Arizona to work with the younger players and rehabilitate himself. He was such a great influence that they invited him back to spring training just because of that. They just wanted him to have an impact on the younger players as he did down in Arizona. Well, he not only impacted the players, but he got an opportunity to play a little bit. And look at this. A guy whose career was over with is getting an at-bat in the World Series.
He's played in one game without an at-bat in the World Series so far. Runner at first, 2 down. Chavez will take it up high. Postseason, he's only had 4 at-bats, 0 for 4.
Gathering his thoughts right there. Getting ready to try to come on and give the Texas Rangers their first World Series championship.
Feliz the closer. Chavez in the air to right field. Berkman backing up on it and will make the catch.
It's far from over.
Feliz has had problems getting the leadoff man out when he comes on to close. But Texas 3 outs away from a world championship. Pujols will get an at-bat. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's the Cubs, Indians, then the Rangers, and the Astros.
Before the series began, this was the night that he predicted it would end. And it would end exactly as it stands right now with the Texas Rangers World Series champions.
Neftali Feliz, who has been perfect in finishing them off in this postseason, needs one more.
Yeah, but he has not retired the leadoff hitter yet in this series. He walked Molina leading off game 2. He walked Craig game 4. He hit Craig in game 5.
Ryan Theriot will take it down low for a ball. Feliz got his 6th save on Monday night. Converted each of the opportunities, 3 in the division series, 1 in the league championship series, and 2 in the World Series. And he gets that in for a strike.
I don't know of anybody in baseball that throws a baseball any harder with any less effort than Feliz. It truly just looks like he's playing catch until you look at the radar gun.
Theriot 1-1. Got to get that leadoff man on because they know who's on deck. You talk about theater. My, oh my. Theriot with a 2-1. Should get one to hit.
This is normally where whatever it is Feliz has on the radar gun, this with 2 strikes is normally where he tries to go get it.
Feliz with a 2-2 delivery, and he got him. Oh, what a big out. Here comes Pujols.
First baseman, Albert Pujols.
Fans so wanted somebody to be on base right here.
Well, now his job is to get on base.
Yep. He's had an 0 for 4 in this game. 1 down, 9th inning. Pujols gets on base. That's going to go to the gap in left center field. He'll make his way to second easily. He's got a double, and the Cardinals in the 9th at the potential tying run at the plate.
guy coming to home plate knows as much about Neftali Feliz as any Cardinal. Having been with the Houston Astros, those interleague games, they face each other 6 times every year. They have met 5 times. Only 1 for 5 for Berkman. But one of his hits tonight left this ballpark.
Getting the double keeps the double play out of reach. Berkman will take it inside for a ball. And again, Feliz, well, he didn't allow the leadoff batter to get on. Will have to work for a save with a runner on base. .1-0 delivery. That's way outside. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Craig, who delivered a homer in his only at bat in this game, is on deck. Feliz with a 2-0 delivery. Berkman takes it inside.
You don't even need to look to third base coach Jose Oquendo, Lance Berkman. You're on your own. You get something you like, you go get it.
Berkman, the veteran, a career .387 average in World Series games. 3-0 delivery to him, and he's on. The Ying, he's on. The Yang, there's a chance for a double play.
The National League Comeback Player of the Year this year, Lance Berkman, standing at first base, representing the tying run.
Craig came on in the 8th inning to pinch hit.
He's really a big part of the reason we're here. The pinch hit base hits that he has gotten off of Ogando, driving in runs, and then of course when he got an opportunity to start, he homered in his first at bat in game 3 against Harrison.
1 down. Craig will take it, and it's a ball. He has picked up 4 hits in the series, each with an RBI. This is the bottom of the 9th inning. The Cardinals have 2 outs to work with. Runners at first and second. 1-0 delivery. That misses.
Feliz has been here before. He closed out the American League Championship Series last year and again this year. But now this is the biggest stage that he has ever been on.
He's converted all 7 postseason chances in his career last year and this year. Here's the 2-0 delivery. And that's a strike. 2-1.
Yeah, he's going to quit trying to trick people. He used a breaking ball in the first pitch of this at bat, as he did to Berkman. It's almost like he stepped off the mound and he said, I'm done with that. That's not me. I throw hard.
Pujols at second base. Berkman is on at first. Berkman's able to get a big jump at first base because Moreland is way behind him and swung around. They're squeezing the middle on Craig. Andrus and Kinsler short and second, almost together at second base. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and he rips it, and it is a foul ball.
Boy, that's hard to believe, isn't it? That he would be out in front of a Neftali Feliz fastball. But that's exactly the case. He was just too quick. He's trying to end this ball game. He's trying to send the St. Louis Cardinals to a game 7.
Tony La Russa told us early on, Craig, one of those players he really likes because he's so aggressive at the plate that he goes up attacking the baseball, not afraid, gets his cuts in, knows the strike zone. It's one of the reasons he's been a big Craig fan.
He's familiar with this position. Pinch hit 22 times during the regular season with 7 hits and a homer.
Here's the 2-2. Craig just fouls it back.
I don't know if people realize how difficult that is. To be on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball on the previous pitch, and then to be able to foul off a slider painted on the outside corner. What a job.
7-5 Texas, 2 outs away from the World Championship. Cardinals trying to deny them in the 9th inning. The 2-2 delivery, taken, got him, and he knew it. Two down.
Obviously, he wasn't looking for another breaking ball, nor was I. I thought this was going to be a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and as it started out at him, he kind of gave a little bit, thinking it would be 2. There you go. There you go. What the state of Texas has waited for is now just 1 out away.
Another one of the young aggressive hitters, David Freese. Freese is 0 for 3 in the ballgame with a walk, 5 for 19 in the series, 2 on and 2 down. He was the star of the National League Championship Series, getting big hits, including the long ball. The Cardinals again tonight can't find the hit. They are 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They have stranded 8. Texas 1 out away. Freese will take it away for a ball. Could there be a more difficult at bat than the bottom of the 9th inning, Game 6 of the World Series? 2 down, your team is down by 2.
This is more difficult than the first at bat he ever had in the big leagues.
1-0 delivery. That'll be in the inside corner for a strike.
You know he wishes he was on the mound right now.
He'd be a lot less nervous. Napoli will go out.
This, once again, is him taking charge. He's not going to let Feliz throw a pitch that he doesn't believe in. Comes out there, tells him his thoughts, pats him on the back. Look, this guy's power is to the opposite field. He loves that fastball out over the plate. If we're throwing a fastball, we need to get it in.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Freese on the big cut. And it is 1-2. I think Texas is standing. Pujols and Berkman are on. Here's the 1-2 delivery in the air, right field, back near the wall, and it's in. 1 run is scored. 2 runs will score. The game is tied. Freese on his way to third. Oh, mercy! The Cardinals are back. Pitch. He went the other way, Rick. Just what you were talking about.
He has done it all year long, displaying that power to the opposite field. Hard for me to believe the Rangers put it in his happy zone.
Now the Cardinals can win it. Molina in the dirt for a ball. The potential winning run is at third base. Freese with a triple and 2 RBIs. The first blown save by Feliz in 2 seasons in the postseason.
Well, and the first blown save for him since the month of August. A great effort on the part of Cruz, but not playing deep enough to get to that ball.
Here's the 1-0 delivery. Molina in the air to right field. Cruz is there. He makes the catch, but we're going to go to extra innings. An unbelievable comeback by the Cardinals. A run in the 8th, 2 runs in the 9th, and Game 6 will go to the 10th inning. Tied at 7. A standing ovation for David Freese, who delivered the triple and the 2 RBIs. He lives only 30 miles away in Wildwood, Missouri, a local hero. That's where he played. Lettered in 4 seasons at Lafayette High School in Wildwood. He's a Cardinal fan.
Well, it truly has been a dream come true for him. But what's hard to believe is that the Texas Rangers outfield defense wasn't playing deeper. With the tying run at first base, you can't let anything get hit over your head that stays in the park.
A towering pop-up off the bat of Ian Kinsler, first baseman Pujols, and he's got it. Mott stays on to pitch. How about this reaction? This is on the Freese triple.
You're doing something when you bring Tony La Russa out of the dugout.
Mott came on in the 9th inning. He issued only 1 walk. Will stay on here. What a game. So the 9-inning total: 7 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors for Texas, 7 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors for the Cardinals. 11 have been left on base by Texas and 9 by the Cardinals. There's a standing O when Freese came out. Elvis Andrus up the middle. That's a base hit. He's got his 2nd hit of the ball game, a 1-out single here in the 10th inning.
This game is going to drastically slow down now, because remember when Tony La Russa talked about Mott giving up the stolen base to Ian Kinsler that helped the comeback in Game 2? Tony thought it was his fault, because Jason Mott can be a little bit quicker to home. Not a slide step, but he can be quicker. And if he would have been quicker, if Tony would have called for that move, Yadier Molina would have thrown out that potential stolen base.
Base steal is where he's 6 out of 7 against Mott during the regular season. Here is Josh Hamilton. He's had a 2-hit night, couple of singles, RBI, runs scored. Pretty good lead at first. This is a World Series. I said before, now I say it even more emphatically, there will be books written about this World Series. There has been so much that has gone on, not necessarily all good, but all exciting. And here's another one. A towering fly ball, right field, back of the wall, and goodbye, home run! Josh Hamilton, a 2 RBI homer in the 10th inning, and Texas leads by 2.
Over 80 at-bats without hitting a homer. The longest power shortage of his career. And before this series began, he said last year we wanted to win the World Series. This year we expect to win it.
Unbelievable. His first home run of the postseason. Gets it off Mott after the single picked up by Elvis Andrus. 9-7.
I think he knew it right off the bat.
He got it on the first pitch of the at-bat, and this roller coaster Game 6 keeps rolling along. 9 runs on 14 hits now for Texas. Jason Mott, Mitch Moreland at the plate. Fly ball center field. Jay is under it. He's got it. And there are 2 down. Ian Kinsler with his teammate Josh Hamilton. Ron Washington. And the battle goes on.
Well, what a difference a year makes for Josh Hamilton. 2 for 20 last year in that World Series, losing 4 games to 1 to the San Francisco Giants.
And a swing and a miss by Adrian Beltre. 2 down, nobody on. 1-1 count. Beltre home run came in the 7th inning. Back-to-back shots were hit by Beltre and Cruz, which at that point looked like it might be enough for Texas to win the ball game.
You know, I keep thinking about the song that Merle Haggard recorded for Ron Washington. That's the way baseball goes. I don't know about this series. There've been a lot of things happening here that are really hard to believe.
1-2 delivery is a towering pop-up over towards the dugout, and there'll be no play.
But you think about this Cardinal team, how they just continue to do, really, Gary, the unbelievable. What they did during the regular season, coming down the stretch to catch Atlanta, what they did in Game 5 against the Phillies, what they did in Milwaukee, they knocked out the Brewers at home. Brewers, of course, the best home team in all of baseball.
Down to third, hit hard, knocked down by Freese. He gets it over there in time for the nice play. And how about those Rangers? 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. Josh Hamilton getting out of the 0 for 84 at the plate without a homer. Could not have come at a more opportune time for Texas. The bottom of the 10th, 9-7 Rangers. 10th. As Texas is back on top. And again, they are 3 outs away from their first World Championship. They got to within 1 strike of getting it in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Freese delivered the 2 RBI triple to tie it. So now they got to get 3 more outs. Folks touching up on the lucky pumpkin there.
I tell you what, these 3 outs are going to be a lot easier to get than those last 3. When you got to go through Albert Pujols, Berkman, and David Freese.
Descalso will lead it off. He picked up a single in the 8th inning, and the only at-bat he's had in the game. Oliver, the 41-year-old who just celebrated a birthday, has come on to try and get the save. 1-1. Oliver started his professional career, for some of these kids were born 1988. And he misses down low, 2-1. Thought he had a strike there. Tony La Russa does not have anybody left on the bench.
Kyle Loesch.
He's going to have a pitcher, pinch hit. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and Descalso fouls it off, 2-2.
Isn't that amazing? The 2011 year could end with a pitcher at home plate hitting.
Descalso, the 2-2, and he'll foul it off. Always, of course, these leadoff batters in any inning, but in situations like this, extra innings when you're down, getting that first out, I say, matters so much. In the 9th inning, Feliz got the first out, and it still came unglued. Oliver, here's the 2-2. Descalso down to first, foul.
One of the decisions that the Cardinals made before this series began was to only go with 4 extra players. The Rangers decided to go with 5. Bullpen still fresh for both of these teams, but the bench totally empty for one.
Headed towards the seats and out of play. Beltre giving a little tap of the cap.
That's a great moment there.
The kid who's got his rally towel underneath his cap.
You know, that tells you
remember that forever.
And it tells you a lot about Adrian Beltre. Even at a moment like this, realizing that none of us would be here if it weren't for the fans.
Here's the 2-2. Descalso, he's got a base hit. Cruz over to get it. He bobbled it. Descalso will stay at first. Potential tying run will come to the plate again. Scott Feldman, who'd been up a good deal earlier in this game, is up again. John Jay. Jay did not have a hit in this World Series until the 8th inning, when he came up with a single. Oliver gets it on the inside corner for a strike.
It's not going to be Kyle Loesch, who for the most part was the pitcher used to pinch hit for Tony La Russa. Edwin Jackson in the on-deck circle.
Here's the 0-1 delivery. That one is lifted in the air. It is not deep. Murphy coming. That's going to be a base hit. And there are 2 on with nobody out. Which sets up the bunt.
Well, exactly. And that's what Jose Oquendo is going to talk to Edwin Jackson about. Listen, if they charge at the corners as we did when Kobe Lewis was trying to bunt, you have got the opportunity to pull that bat back and swing it. Little butcher boy trying to hit a ground ball. Everybody meeting on the mound right now. Ron Washington will send Mike Maddox out to discuss the strategy here. The one thing about it, in the National League, this happens a lot. They will try all of the different plays to try to help you get out of a situation. Very rarely is there a sacrifice bunt attempt in the American League. So we'll see. We'll see if the Texas Rangers can execute it properly, as did the St. Louis Cardinals.
Now Loesch is going to come up.
He's a better bunter.
Yeah. Jackson had 2 sacrifices during the season. Loesch had 6.
Jackson's the better hitter. He's got more power. He's amazing in batting practice. And since the trade over here to the Cardinals, he hit over 300 in limited at-bats. Loesch with much more experience in this role. Tony La Russa, I believe, again, making the right move here.
Beltre moves in at third base. Moreland in at first. Nobody out. He does square. Charges on. The wheel play. Wanted to throw to second, but nobody was there. And they said...
He's saying that the ball hit him.
Yeah. And the first base umpire said, Jerry Lane said no.
Well, Jerry Lane's saying that he did not bunt at it. That's what they asked right after that.
It's a ball.
Did he attempt to go for it? I think he did. But Jerry Lane says no, that bat never came back. He's saying that the ball hit him.
I don't think it hit him, but I do think he went after it. But it's 1-0. And he pops it up, and it gets by everybody. Here's a throw to first. Great play. It is a sacrifice and almost ended up being a base hit. Beltre was charging so hard, Loesch got the ball by him. Andrus had the wheel on, so he was going over to cover third and just happened to be where he needed to be.
That play right there by Elvis Andrus was Derek Jeter-like. Remember when Jeter came down the line, got the ball, got the forced play at home plate on the Oakland A's with Jorge Posada tagging out Jeremy Giambi? Elvis Andrus coming off the bat. That is just total instincts right there, and a tremendous play on the part of Kinsler to get a low throw. Look, his job is to go to the base. He's headed over to third base right now, but he reads the play, he pays attention, and he's so athletic, he was able to come in and make a huge play for the Texas Rangers.
And that wheel play is not one that's often used by Texas because there's never an occasion for it. Ron Washington is on his way out. He will go to the bullpen. We are in the bottom of the 10th inning. Texas leading at 9-7 in this game. Terrio came on his first at bat in the 7th. He has popped out and struck out. Runners at second and third, one out. Scott Feldman delivers to him. Terrio takes the breaking ball for a strike.
Terrio's such an intelligent player. Part of a College World Series championship at LSU. He realizes his job right now is to get on base. And if he doesn't have to swing the bat, he won't.
That one is right off the end of the bat and a 2-strike count. Terrio has not seen Feldman before. He's not had an at-bat against him. The 107th World Series being recorded. Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that's going to be foul back.
Boy, he got a good pitch to hit there. They wanted to come in with that fastball just for effect. The ball out over the plate there. Wow. Feldman very fortunate that ball was not hit in the gap somewhere. I got to go with that high fastball.
There's the 0-2 delivery. Breaking ball outside.
Hoping that rally, Squirrels got one more rally in him.
Game over 4 hours long. Here's the 1-2 delivery. And a ground ball to third base. Play is going to go to first, and they get a big out. There are two down. It'll be an RBI for Terrio. And unbelievable that we come to this. He's going to get the intentional pass. Runner at second base representing a potential tying run. It is 9-8. Pujols will again be walked intentionally.
I don't think there's any doubt that every other manager in baseball would do the same thing.
Fifth time in this World Series that he's drawn the intentional pass.
His offensive production has been unmatched over the past decade. You say, well, this goes completely against the book, putting the go-ahead run, the winning run, on base. Well, the thing is, as we saw in Game 3, when Albert Pujols is standing at home plate, he's in scoring position.
Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, will come out to talk. Scott Feldman. Berkman is coming up.
They've got to be talking about the success that Colby Lewis, other than the home run on the fastball away, had against Lance Berkman. Where he got him out was that good hard slider down towards the back foot of Berkman. Berkman always has been and will be an aggressive hitter.
Berkman is 4 for 10 lifetime off Feldman.
The difference right now for Berkman is he doesn't have to go deep. If he can come up with a base hit, it'll tie this game. Take a look at where Nelson Cruz is at now. Had he been there on the ball hit by David Freese, this series would have been over.
2 down, Lance Berkman. Moved into the number 4 spot for this game. And Berkman will foul it back for a strike. Again, Texas needs 1 out to win the championship. Here's the 0-1 delivery to Berkman. It'll be inside for a ball. Jay is the potential tying run at second. He picked up a single. Pujols, a runner at first, looking for direction. In right field is Cruz. Where do you want me? Right there is the answer. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and Berkman will fight it off. And for the second time in this game, Texas is within a strike of winning it all.
I think that's a great job by Mike Maddox in the biggest moment of the year for the Texas Rangers, telling his pitcher exactly what he needs to do, giving him the answers to the test.
1-2, 2 down. Feldman to Berkman. How do you take a pitch? Any pitch. He does.
That's why he's such a great professional.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Jay getting a big lead off second base. Here's the 2-2. And Berkman is going to drop it. I don't believe it. Jay will score. The game is tied.
The comeback player of the year in the National League. Why not provide these people with one more thrill?
Can the Cardinals find one more big hit? Somebody other than Berkman. The winning run is at third base, and it's Albert Pujols who is intentionally walked. And the pitch is down low for a ball. Down to second base, Berkman. That'll be defensive indifference. You talk about pushing a right button no matter what happens. La Russa made the move today to put Berkman 4 and Holiday 5. And Berkman has delivered in every single at-bat in this game in one way or another. Alan Craig can win this right here. A chopper. Gonna go to third. Play will go to first, and we play on. In the 10th inning, a 2-run homer by Hamilton in the top of the 10th gave Texas a 2-run lead. In the bottom of the 10th inning, Terrio with a ground-out RBI. Because this is a history-making affair here at Busch Stadium. This is a classic baseball game. A native Texan playing for the Cardinals ties the ball game up, gets a standing ovation from the St. Louis fans as he goes out to right field, Lance Berkman.
And he did it with 2 strikes.
Same thing that David Freese did to tie it up in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
2 down, 2 strike hits for the Cardinals. Well, we talked about bringing on Jake Westbrook, and here he is.
And he's going to be out there for a while if neither team is able to score. Boy, how fortunate now are both of these clubs that not only the travel day before Game 6, but the off day again yesterday with the rain out to give them some depth down there to have quality pitching.
And Westbrook will start against Nelson Cruz. Cruz has scored a couple of runs, hit a home run in the 7th inning, back-to-back with Beltre. Cardinals in the air to right center. Every ball put to the outfield. The fans are going, oh my, Berkman's got it. Cardinals have now come back 5 times. 5 times from deficits in this ball game. They're used to it. August 25, they trailed the wild card race by 10.5 and came back. And on the last day, clinched it.
They were 7.5 out with just 20 games left to play. When they left for Houston with 3 games left in the regular season, these fans said goodbye to them, figuring that this place was going to be empty until next April.
1 down. The pitch is inside. Napoli, he's had an RBI single in the ball game, couple of walks, 1 intentional, 2 walks that weren't, called out on strikes. Westbrook is inside to him. We thought Napoli was out of the ball game about 2.5 hours ago when he slid into second base very awkwardly and very ugly, twisting his ankle and or knee. Never left a pitch. Go to right field. Berkman coming. Can't get it. Napoli's got another base hit. A 1-out single here in the 11th inning.
I just keep marveled not only with what he does swinging the bat, but the fact that he's able to run on that ankle after completely rolling it over. That's a gamer. That is a gamer.
Here's David Murphy. Murphy's got a couple of singles, a run scored. The hit number 15 for Texas, 12 on the board for the Cardinals, 9-9. Each team has now left 11 on base. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and that's in there for a strike from Westbrook. Westbrook, the starter, much beloved for his tenacity by his manager, Tony La Russa.
And Tony really liked what he saw of Jake coming out of the bullpen.
Fly ball, center field. Jay's got it. 2 down. Well, if the Cardinals win this thing, and who knows, there'll be a Game 7 tomorrow night, and we will have it for you. There will be a champion if it goes to 7. Projected starters: Matt Harrison, Texas; Kyle Loesch, Cardinals. Airtime 7:30 Eastern, 22:30 GMT. Live coverage of the 11 World Series right here on Major League Baseball International. Whether we'll have that game, who knows? There is Mark Lowe. Cardinals trying to figure out who's coming up. Taking a long time here.
You know exactly what they're doing. They're stalling right now to give Mark Lowe more time to get ready.
3 guys warmed up. 3 guys were in the on-deck circle at the same time. 2 down, runner at first base.
Home plate umpire Gary Cedarson looking over to Ron Washington. You have to point to me before I can tell the official scorer that this man is going to pinch hit.
Esteban Herman is going to come on as the pinch hitter. Runner at first base and 2 down.
Westbrook gets an out here for the first time in 3 innings. Cardinals will have a chance, if they score, to win.
Herman will take the pitch away. He's had just a couple of at-bats in 2 games in the World Series, 0 for 2. Oliver charged with a third of an inning worked and a couple of runs on 2 hits. Feldman out, no runs, a hit in 2/3 of an inning. It'll go to second base. Terrio. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Lowe looks like he's coming on to pitch. The Cardinals will have a chance to win it in the bottom of the 11th. Just an unbelievable baseball game that the Cardinals somehow have been able to stay in. Down to his final strike. Freeze in the 9th inning with 2 down. Delivers a triple, driving in the 2 runs to tie the ball game up in the bottom half of the 9th. And then in the 10th inning, again with 2 down, Berkman's able to come through with the base hit, RBI. The Cardinals refusing to go away in this game 6.
I just wonder if in that visiting clubhouse they're not running out of ice. You know that they have iced down that champagne a couple of times only to take it off and get it out of the view of everybody.
That is an absolute no-no in baseball. It's happened before in these kind of games. You put the plastic up to cover the lockers because Texas is ahead, 3 outs needed, and like Rick says, as soon as that game's tied, that stuff comes out of there faster than a water bug across the pond. I mean, get it out. It's bad luck. Well, for the first time in a long time, the Cardinals come to the plate with a chance to win and not trailing. David Freese will lead it off. He has that big 2 RBI triple. Mark Lowe is on to do the pitching. He is the 8th Texas pitcher to appear in this game.
Well, Gary, we're getting to the point right now where there's a lot of people in this game that didn't expect to be, nor did their managers want them to be.
Here's a 1-0 delivery outside.
The tough part for Mark Lowe right now is that he realizes with one mistake, his team could lose the ball game. And there is power at home plate.
David Freese, 2-0 count. Outfield back as far as they can get. And the pitch is up high, 3-0. Lowe is in his 2nd game. He's worked only in the World Series. He's worked 1 inning, gave up a run on 2 hits. You saw the numbers for Lowe in the postseason, the same. 3-0 delivery.
I didn't know what he was going to do on that pitch. Mark McGwire not happy about that. Looked like it was high. That's one thing everybody in the dugouts can see is whether the ball is up or down.
3-1 delivery on the way, and Freese will foul it back, so Lowe gets it to 3-2.
They talk about, Gary, baseball being a game of inches. You've got all of this room out here, but yet that pitch right there, if it's called ball 4, completely changes everything as far as this inning is concerned.
Three ball, 2 strike count. Freese in the air to center. Has he done it? Way back. Hello, game 7. Goodbye. Home run. An unbelievable win for the St. Louis Cardinals.
What an unbelievable story for a kid that grew up just 30 miles away to not only get an opportunity to play in a World Series, but with one swing of the bat, take his team to Game 7.
Texas came within one strike twice of winning the World Championship tonight, and the Cardinals would not go away. One of the most dramatic, and there have been lots of dramatic World Series games, but this one is right up there.